Another chilly night in November, but there's nothing chilly about the atmosphere tonight inside the BC Lloyd Building in Paragould, Arkansas. Tonight, the Greene County Fairgrounds will be host to AA Productions Cage Combat Championship 5. Thanks for tuning into the broadcast, and thanks for tuning into Tubetown Channel 21. I'm Andy Manus, joined cage side tonight by Aaron Hathcock as we get set for 7 amateur fights tonight, Aaron, not including our main event fight, which is a professional fight between 2 pro fighters. TJ Brown from the West Side Fighting Club in Little Rock. He'll be taking on Global Proving Grounds Shelby Graham, fighting out of St. Louis. Got a great fight card tonight, Aaron.
I'm excited about this card, Andy, and this is the first time we've covered a pro fight in all the fights we've done for these Cage Combat Championships, so I'm really looking forward to this fight. It should be a great night.
No doubt about it. And Aaron, as usual, we like to make sure our viewers at home know a little bit about the unified rules of MMA. So go ahead and break down some of the basic do's and don'ts for our viewers at home.
All right, there are a few illegal moves. There's no headbutting, no eye gouging, no biting, no strikes to the groin, no small joint manipulation where you attack the fingers or toes. There's no strikes to the back of the head. Those are also illegal. No strikes to the throat. And then kicks or knees to the head of a grounded opponent are also illegal. And anything that's touching the ground that's not the soles of the feet, like the hand or anything else, leads to an opponent being a grounded opponent.
Well, Aaron, how will the judges be scoring tonight? In other words, what will the judges be looking for between the combatants inside the ring?
Well, in all of our fights, there'll be 3 3-minute rounds, and there are 3 judges that sit outside the ring, and each of them score each round using a 10-point must system, which means that the winner of the round gets 10 points, and the loser of the round gets 9 points or less. Then if the fight goes to a decision, then the scores for all 3 rounds are added up, and the fighter with the biggest point total wins. I'm sorry, Andy, I lost my thought there.
It's okay.
The judges will score each round based on effective striking, effective grappling, control of the cage, aggressiveness, and effective defense.
All right, well, now that our audience has got a feel for some of what they're going to be seeing tonight, we're going to step aside for a quick break and be back with some of the action here from Cage Combat Championship 5. Don't forget, 7 amateur fights on the card tonight, not including the 8th and final main event, a professional fight between 2 professional fighters. It's going to be awesome stuff from inside the BC Lloyd Building here in Paragould tonight. We'll be back with more of Cage Combat Championship 5 after this.
Ritter Communications gives you a universe of TV shows. And now TiVo brings you even more. Movies, music, and videos from the web. Get it all in one place and take it anywhere life takes you. Any show, any screen, anywhere. Introducing the TiVo Experience from Ritter Communications.
Call Ritter Communications at 888-336-4466.
Watch your head.
Watch out, Bernie.
It's fun hunting with your buddies, but it's really fun when you get limped with your buddies.
I've got a special technique where I just wait for the big bull.
Yeah, baby.
Right now at this time, before we get everything kicked off, we want to go ahead and call and also thank the Paragould High School Color Guard, the ROTC, for coming out here tonight. They will be leading us with our national anthem. So please, if you'd join me at this time, everybody, let's all rise and remove our ball caps in honor of our country, USA. right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go ahead and get our first matchup of the evening underway. We will have 7 undercard fights. It will be 3 rounds for 3 minutes each. We'll have our main event tonight, which will be 5 minutes and 5-minute rounds, I do believe so. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. 3 5-minute rounds in our main event tonight. Okay, and our title fight tonight will be 5 3-minute rounds, and the rest of our undercard matches will be 3 3-minute rounds.
Okay,
so let's go ahead and get ready and bring our opponents out here for our first matchup of the evening.
Welcome back to the BC Lloyd building here on the Greene County Fairgrounds. Andy Manus alongside Aaron Hathcock for Cage Combat Championship 5. What was the last one?
5 now.
We're up to 5 now.
We're having so much fun, it's hard to keep track.
It really is. Getting set for our first fight of the night. Right now, getting set to enter the ring. Fighting out of the blue corner, Austin Arterberry. Austin Arterberry is going to be taking on Wade Dye this evening. Aaron, this new information to us, we're going to be having a title fight in addition to our professional fight this evening. It's going to be our, I guess, co-main event.
Our co-main event is a title fight at a catchweight is what we found out.
It will be for the featherweight AA title belt, but that'll be, once again, the co-main event tonight. The main event, a professional fight between TJ Brown fighting out of Westside MMA in Little Rock and Shelby Graham fighting out of St. Louis. He is here because of Global Proving Grounds. Making his way to the octagon now, fighting out of the red corner is going to be Wade Dye, bringing his entourage with him, and taking a different approach to the ring music here.
Yes, he is. It's an interesting choice.
It is.
Can't say that I just dislike it.
I can't say that I do either. Now, let me ask you this, though. How intimidated are you if you're the opponent in the ring, and this is the musical choice of your opponent?
I guess maybe it depends on your philosophical views on life about
what are you getting ready for?
Yeah.
You don't know what you're getting ready for.
What am I fighting against?
And Aaron, obviously you and I don't know a whole lot about most of these fighters, given that it's, they're local fighters, relatively unknown. But this being our 3rd time that we have done this, we know that it doesn't matter if you know their name or not. It doesn't matter if you know who they are. You're going to know who they are by the time they leave the octagon.
That's exactly right, and it's always interesting for you and I to see what kind of style the fighters bring to the fight and what their strategy is going to be as they enter the fight.
Forgot about it. We'll find out here momentarily. Austin Arterberry out of the blue corner, taking on Wade Dye out of the red corner.
Coming to us from South Haven, Mississippi, weighing in at 145 pounds, give it up for Austin Arterberry. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 on left in the red corner. Coming to us from Kent, Missouri, weighing in at 145 pounds, he is Wade, the Shadow Creature Dye. Three rounds, 3 minutes. Your referee, Rocky Demir.
Your referee, Rocky Demir, tonight in the octagon. 3 rounds, 3 minutes coming up in our first fight of the night. Austin Arterberry fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing black trunks with red trim. Fighting out of the red corner, Wade, the Shallow Creature Dye, fighting from Kennett, Missouri. He will be fighting out of the red corner once again, wearing the black trunks with white trim. And Aaron, here we go, our first fight of the night.
Let's see what we've got.
And a straight left.
Knockdown right off the bat.
Knocks Wade Dye down, but Wade Dye counters with a takedown.
Arterberry came right up from getting knocked down there and went right for the double leg takedown.
And Arterberry on top now. Couple of punches to the midsection, 2 fighting for position, and now it looks like double underhook from Arterberry.
Some knees to the hip there by Arterberry.
Arterberry struggling, and now it looks like he's attempting a guillotine. Nice reversal there from Dye, though, but Dye still in a very bad position with his head in the clutch of Arterberry.
He's trying to keep that chin tucked so that Arterberry's arm doesn't get under there. But now Arterberry's just about to shift to full mount if he can clear that one knee.
And a nice job by Dye.
Dye takes it back to guard.
Very nice defensive move on the ground from Wade Dye, fighting out of Kennett, Missouri. He's on his back right now, but done a good job in keeping Arterberry in a non-advantageous position.
Absolutely. And now, Arterberry is in the closed guard there. And these guys are just struggling to get some kind of advantageous position.
There you see Dye with the head and the right arm trapped of Arterberry, but Arterberry slips out of it. Throwing a couple of left hands there from the top position, and now it looks like Wade Dye trying to attempt a submission hold there, it looked like, but he lost it. And he's trying to pull rubber guard right now, which he has successfully. You see him wrapping his arms around the head of Arterberry.
But in that exchange, as he fought that off, he took a couple of shots right above his left eye.
About a minute and 30 seconds left here in the first round. And, Aaron, you've got to imagine these guys are expending a tremendous amount of energy here.
That was interesting. That looked like Arterberry was going to try to end this fight the way our last fight, our title fight, our title fight ended in the last one. And Dye said, I'm not going to have any of that, and almost got stood up as he got picked up by Arterberry.
He escaped the power bomb is what he did there, but now Arterberry still in a favorable position. He is on top. And missed with a big right hand there, fist slamming to the mat. And Wade Dye is doing a good job defensively here thus far.
He is trying everything he can do to get his hips in a position where he can get out of this and maybe get back up on his feet.
And there you see the elbow of Arterberry just digging into the throat of Wade Dye.
At the very least, I started to say he's going to want to sweep and reverse and end up in full mount.
You started to say it, and Wade Dye now in a very advantageous position, as you said, in full mount position. And right now, Arterberry doing a good job of locking him down, but there, Dye escapes, big overhand hands.
Wow, those are some good ground and pound. And Dye needs to do something to close this round out because he spent most of the round on his back in a defensive position.
Absolutely, and he is on top, in complete control right now in full mount. As you see there, just smothering Arterberry here with about 10 seconds left in round number one. There you hear the tapping, signaling 10 seconds left in the round, 5 seconds left. And Arterberry gets out of it at the end of round number one.
That was a good round by both fighters,
absolutely, Andy. A great way to start off tonight for Cage Combat Championship 5. Austin Arterberry doing some work early in the round, but Wade Dye, I think, evened things out towards the end of the round. A very tough decision for our judges tonight.
Very tough round to call. I'm not even sure how I would want to score that fight, Andy.
Our judges
that round, rather.
Our judges tonight, John Munns, Wes Kraft, and David Dyer.
And I do not envy their jobs this evening,
absolutely not. Those judges have a difficult decision in front of them regarding round number one here for our first fight of the night.
And it's interesting to note, a lot of times you'll see judges, a fighter that seems to be having more success at the end of a round, sometimes will get the nod of that round. And that may be what we see here with Dye finishing that round on top and having a lot of flurry and maybe some slightly more impressive ground and pound. Because the ground and pound from Arterberry in that round, while it came often, it didn't seem to come in as big a burst as many times.
It was very inconsistent.
Exactly.
It was very inconsistent.
And when Wade Dye when he made that sweep and he got on into full mount, he went right away to some very, very large ground and pound there. Maybe some shock and awe for the judges.
As we get set for round number two here, and we'll start the timer as well. 3 minutes here for our amateur fight. 3 minutes, 3 rounds. Excluding the title fight, which is coming up for our co-main event.
Go back to the ground, or if they want to try to keep it standing. That's a good kick to the front leg there by Arterberry.
And I'm surprised to see both fighters standing here throwing blows as much energy as they expended after round number one. Both fighters standing tall at this moment, content to stay on their feet, as you just mentioned. Austin Arterberry in the black trunks, red trim. Wade Shallow Creature Dye in the black trunks, white trim. And it's an interesting takedown maneuver there by Wade Dye. And now he's trying to wrap his legs around the head of Arterberry, try to gain some sort of scissor lock submission.
And another attempt at a slam.
He's trying, now he's got his legs wrapped again. A nice almost reversal there by Arterberry, but he's still in an unfavorable position right now. Wade Dye, a couple of punches to the midsection. And now Arterberry back on top. Back in the half card.
We'll see if Dye wants to go back into that closed guard just like that.
And we see that Wade Dye doesn't mind so much being rubber guard, or, getting in that rubber guard position. It seems like he may favor some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Once again, we don't know anything about any of these fighters tonight, but judging from what we've seen out of Wade Dye so far, I think he does not mind at all to be on the ground. But right now, Austin Arterberry on top doing some work.
And I think he needs to.
He slipped guard there. It looks, well,
once again,
nice
he's
block
trying
there
to
by Wade Dye.
pass to at least half guard and maybe advance over to side guard. And I'll be interested to see if Wade Dye wants to try to catch that sweep again and maybe turn this over and end up back in full mount. That certainly would be more to his advantage.
1:15 remaining in round number 2. Austin Arterberry on top. Wade Dye holding full guard right now.
And I'm not sure what each of these cornermen told their fighters, but as close as that first round appeared to be to you and I think I would want my fighter to do some work in this round to try to make sure that you had a decisive win in this round for sure.
Well, and as you say that here in round number 2, to my opinion, I don't feel that either fighter has done anything here in round 2 to separate themselves from one another, if you know what I mean.
No, and you may have to say that we may want to give the nod.
And their referee, Rocky Demir, stands them up.
Because just like you finished saying, there wasn't enough action on the ground from either fighter. So Rocky said, let's stand this up and let's see if we can create something for the fans.
And Arterberry stuck out a glove, and it seemed like in respect for Wade Dye did not extend the same glove out. And there you see Arterberry a little dazed.
I believe he caught him with that knee, Andy. And now he's gone for the one leg and try to take this down and maybe get his wits back about him.
But I think Wade Dye, the momentum in his favor right now because he caught Arterberry off guard.
And there's the 10-second clack. And maybe Dye says, I'm going to take this to the third round. But I'm not sure I wouldn't want to keep that momentum going, Andy.
There's the end of round number 2. And I'm curious to that, Aaron. We saw Wade Dye. He seemed like he might have caught Arterberry with a stray punch or, as you said, a stray knee. It seems like Arterberry was off kilter for a moment, and Dye did nothing
he did
nothing to take advantage of that.
And so is that a sense of, was that unexpected for Dye and he wasn't sure what to do, which I wouldn't think, or is he getting tired? I think that's the question
maybe
to
a
ask.
Combination of two, but Arterberry, a smart move in being dazed, just went straight for the tie-up. You see boxers do that all the time when they get.
And you see it often in MMA too.
Absolutely.
It's maybe a little bit easier in MMA because you can use the takedown attempt, and if you are able to get a takedown or even just clinch one leg, it gives you the ability to maybe get your wits back about you. So. I'm interested to see. This is going to be a very close fight, I think.
It will be, absolutely.
In my opinion, even though Dye finished sort of in a somewhat superior position at the end of that round, I honestly think it was so late in the round, I'm not sure as a judge I would have given that round to Dye.
Well,
I have it.
With that said,
19-19 after 2.
Well, I was going to say, with that said, that's the second round in which we haven't seen anything out of Wade Dye until the very end of the round, within the last minute of the round. So here we go with round number 3. We'll start the clock, and here they come. Austin Arterberry, black and red trunks. Wade Dye, black and white trunks, and the two trade blows in the middle of the octagon. Arterberry goes for a takedown. Oh,
a little issue with the light pole.
Wow, that was a little scary
I think the
there.
light pole was dazed on that shot,
I think
Andy.
so, but right now some ground and pound coming from Arterberry in the top position. He's got Wade Dye on his back and pinned against the cage.
And this has kind of been the story of this fight, Andy. Honestly, I mean, we have seen this position, Dye on his back, Arterberry in the closed guard.
Well, to you, which is more impressive in the judge's mind? Is it the domination for Arterberry in the ability to get Wade Dye on his back like this, or is it in Wade Dye with coming up with these big reversals at the end of the round?
Well, it depends on what Arterberry in this position does in terms of how much work he's putting in. I think if he works and tries to get shots and is constantly maneuvering for some sort of superiority, be it in his body position or in the amount of strikes he's
landed. And here's
landed.
an armbar from Wade Dye on the bottom. Arterberry with a slam on the head.
But Dye bounces right out of that, and he landed right on the top of his head, and now he's in half guard.
Wade Dye just came out on the wrong side of a slam, and now he finds himself, as Aaron just said, in side control. Half guard, that is.
And he may have had side control for just a minute, but Arterberry was able to get one leg underneath him and took it back to the half guard.
As you said, the right leg of Dye right now being trapped by the two legs of Arterberry. Arterberry doing a good job of controlling the body of Dye and preventing.
And Dye is trying to get his leg out from between the two legs of Arterberry
and you see him
to side control.
He's almost done it. He's almost in full mount, and there he is.
he decided to not switch around and go to side control. He said, I think I can take full mount.
The second
and I will
time,
use my advantage here.
The second time we have seen Wade Dye in full mount position tonight.
But
and
this
Austin
time he did
Arterberry
it a lot earlier in the round than he did the last 2 times before he made a superior move.
And you saw him hesitate on top when Austin Arterberry had his face uncovered. Wade Dye hesitated, and I think that goes back to what you were saying about last round. I think he's winded at this point. You see him right now. You see the look on his face looking over to his corner man, trying to get some advice.
He seems to be looking for some encouragement, some advice.
30 seconds remaining in round number 3. Wade Dye on top of Austin Arterberry, a 155-pound matchup between these two combatants, and it's been pretty even so far.
This is one of the differences you see in the amateur fighting, where the elbows to the head and the knees to the head are illegal in any form or fashion. He had Arterberry in a position where he could have dropped some elbows. As he had his wrist tied up with his hands, he could have changed his body position and dropped some elbows on him like you see in professional fights.
10 seconds.
But he's unable to do it.
10 seconds remaining, and Arterberry is content to just lay on top of, Wade Dye content to just lay on top of Arterberry here. And there you see a bit of mutual respect between the two fighters as round number 3 has ended and the first fight of the night over with. We're going to take a quick break while our judges tally up the results. We'll come back with a decision for our first fight of the night. Austin Arterberry and Wade Dye, who gets the win? We'll be back with more Cage Combat Championship 5 right here on Tubetown, Channel 21.
Ritter Communications gives you a universe of TV shows. And now TiVo brings you even more. Movies, music, and videos from the web. Get it all in one place and take it anywhere life takes you. Any show, any screen, anywhere. Introducing the TiVo Experience from Ritter Communications.
Call Ritter Communications at 888-336-4466.
Will be in the red corner. Wade Dye.
Andy Manus back here with Tubetown Channel 21. Thanks for tuning in to Cage Combat Championship 5. Your winner of fight number 1 on the night, Wade Dye from Kennett, Missouri, fighting out of the red corner. Let's send it down to Aaron Hathcock now with our winner.
Tell us what you were thinking, because it seemed like in the end of each round you were able to get a superior position and maybe finish with a flurry in each round. Do you think that's what helped you win this fight?
Man, I've trained up really hard for this fight. It's all for God. God will help me win the fight, and he's strong. It was a good fight. I really appreciate it.
Man, it was a great effort by both of you guys. Let's hear it for our winner, Wade Dye, everybody.
All right, that's our winner of fight number 1 on the night, Wade Dye with Aaron Hathcock. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have our second fight of the evening, Nathan Gilmore taking on Randy Gatlin. This is Cage Combat Championship 5 on Tubetown, Channel 21.
Our first round here tonight, Wade, the Shadow Creature Dye.
Watch your head.
Watch out, Brandon.
It's fun hunting with your buddies, but it's really fun when you get limped with your buddies.
I've got a special technique where I just wait for the big school.
Yeah, baby.
Back here at Cage Combat Championship 5, Andy Manus and Aaron Hathcock cage side tonight. And we just reached the conclusion of our first fight of the evening. Wade Dye from Kennett, Missouri, out of the 145-pound weight class, winning by decision over Austin Arterberry. It was a great fight and a great way to kick off tonight's Cage Combat Championship 5.
And just to exemplify the point we made about how close that fight was to score, that was a split decision, which means one of the judges saw it differently from the other two. So one judge had it for Arterberry, and the other two judges had it for Dye.
Well, right now, getting ready for our second fight of the night, there you see on camera Nathan Gilmore fighting out of the blue corner. He'll be wearing the white trunks tonight. His opponent, before he makes his way to his ring, Randy Gatlin, be fighting out of the red corner tonight. An exciting start to Cage Combat Championship 5 here in Paragould, Arkansas. And we certainly appreciate you joining us tonight on Tubetown Channel 21. Hope you're enjoying the fights so far. Once again, 7 more fights on the card for tonight, including the one that we're about to watch between Nathan Gilmore and Randy Gatlin. But on the card tonight, Aaron, don't forget a title fight for our co-main event between Cody Lane from Paragould. He'll be taking on Kyle Jones from Hoxie, Arkansas. And then the main event of the evening, a pro fight. TJ Brown from Westside MMA in Little Rock taking on Shelby Graham from the Global Proving Grounds Promotions.
Looking forward to both of those fights.
No doubt about it, brother. Getting ready for Randy Gatlin to make his way down to our ring. We'll send it down to the ring announcer for the announcement.
I got ice in my veins, blood in my eyes, hate in my heart, love in my mind. I seen nights full of pain, days are the same. You keep the sunshine, save me the rain. I search but never find, hurt but never cry. I work and forever try, but I'm cursed, so never mind. And it's worse, but better times seem further and beyond. The top gets higher, the more that I climb. The spot gets smaller, and I get bigger, trying to get in where I fit in. No room for it, but soon for it be on.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest of the evening for 3 minutes for 3 rounds. Here are your participants. Introducing first, to my right in the blue corner, coming to us from Lepanto, Arkansas, weighing in at 148 pounds, Nathan Gilmore. His opponent tonight, ladies and gentlemen, from Paragould, Arkansas, weighing in at 148 pounds, Randy Gatlin. 3 rounds, 3 minutes.
Andy Manus and Aaron Hathcock back here in the BC Lloyd building on the Greene County Fairgrounds. Getting ready for our second fight of the night. It looks like we've got a 148-pound matchup on our hands. Randy Gatlin in the red corner fighting out of the black trunks with white trim. He'll be taking on Nathan Gilmore from Lepanto, Arkansas, fighting in the white trunks. Round number 1, here we go, a 3-minute round for fight number 2. And starting out, a couple of feints, both fighters just feeling each other out here. Once again, Randy Gatlin, black trunks, white trim. Nathan Gilmore with the white trunks. And there's a kick straight to the midsection and a
right down to the
nice reversal there from Nathan Gilmore. And now Gilmore with his leg
He's
caught
to get
up.
a heel hook there.
And a heel hook from Randy Gatlin, and he might have it locked in early. He's
Gilmore's
got Gilmore
doing everything
twisting.
he can to get out of that. And he may have done it.
I think so. I think it looks like he escaped it, and now
he did. That was an excellent series of maneuvers to get himself out of that predicament.
Now you got to give credit to Randy Gatlin, though, however, for just being able to almost lock that heel hook in this early in the round. I mean, we still got 2 minutes left to go.
He decided he was going to try to end this fight as early as he could, I believe.
Well, and from what we saw out of Nathan Gilmore just now, that might be smart. There's a
And
big
a big
over
shot
right
to
hand.
the ground.
Big right hand standing up from Nathan Gilmore.
Nathan Gilmore was so enthusiastic about that, I don't think it caught Gatlin full on.
And now some hammer fist, big right
those
hands.
Those are catching Gilmore.
And
Gatlin
those
full
do
on.
not feel good.
And that's it.
He's going to end the fight early here. No, he's going to stand him up.
Stood him up. I believe he called it.
He will. He will call the fight. Nathan Gilmore.
Yeah, that's it.
With 1 minute, 40 seconds remaining in the first round, gets a TKO victory over Randy Gatlin. A quick ending to our second fight of the night. We'll send it down momentarily to our man Aaron Hathcock with a quick interview with our winner, Nathan Gilmore.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the referee has called this one. Your winner of this contest will be from Lepanto, Arkansas, Nathan Gilmore.
Let's take a minute to interview our winner, Nathan Gilmore. Nathan, you finished that one in the first round with strikes. Did you think that's what you would be able to do to end this fight?
Well, I know I never had any UFC tournament. This is my first fight. So I knew he'd think he can be able to take it easy on me. We'll come right in with a kick or submission. So that's what he did. Came with a submission. So he had my leg, but it was kind of tight, couldn't get it in. So I was either going to slam him or end it with a punch.
Well, you did a good job. Everybody, this is our winner right here.
All right, that's our winner, Nathan Gilmore from Lepanto, Arkansas, winning with 1 minute 40 seconds left in the first round. A technical knockout over his opponent, Randy Gatlin from Paragould, Arkansas. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Cage Combat Championship 5 here in Paragould, Arkansas. Thanks for tuning in to Tubetown Channel 21. Andy Manus and Aaron Hathcott here with you ringside today. Getting ready for our third fight of the night, David Strange taking on Ken O.T. right now. David Strange getting worked up by his cut man before entering the ring. And man, if this third fight, Aaron, goes how the first two have gone, we're in for a treat, man. This is the third time we've had the privilege of doing this, and I don't know if I've been this excited this early into the nights. You know what I'm trying to say.
I absolutely do, and I feel the same way. Even though at Cage Combat Championship 4, when we were there, 7 of the 8 fights ended in some sort of a finish, either a submission or a knockout.
And they all ended in the first round.
With the exception of the ladies' fight that went the distance. There's a different electricity here this evening. You know, there's a large crowd. This building is almost every seat in this building that's out is full.
Absolutely, there's no doubt about it.
I think that's adding to it. Is there's just an incredible atmosphere in this building tonight, and we've seen a really good fight that went the distance. We've seen a fight that almost ended in a submission, and the man who was almost submitted then was able to turn it around and finish the fight with strikes on the ground
within a matter of 30 seconds.
That's exactly
he was
right.
able to do that.
And what was interesting in that interview with Nathan Gilmore was that he mentioned that he basically knew exactly what Randy Gatlin was going to do. That he was going to come out and try to kick him and then maybe work that into a submission. And that's exactly what we saw. And even though Nathan Gilmore said this was his first fight,
that didn't look like his first fight.
You know, the way he fought it certainly didn't. If you think back to when he first started the first round, when he had that one glove out and he was kind of tentative, the way he was moving around and sort of dancing around Nathan or Randy Gatlin, you know, it was interesting to me to think that maybe he hadn't fought very many times, but since we didn't know what his record was going in, I certainly don't want to have any disrespect for fighter by implying that they haven't fought very much, and not when I don't know. But it was interesting that he had Gatlin scouted out like he did and knew exactly what he's going to do.
All right, David Strange and Ken O.T. in the ring now. Let's send it down to our MC, Calvin McHenry.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing our participants for the next contest of the evening. Set to go for 3 rounds, 3 minutes each. Introducing first, to my right, in the blue corner, coming to us from Hot Springs, Arkansas, weighing in at 216 pounds. He is David the Reaper Strange. His opponent to my left in the red corner, coming to us from Huntsville, Alabama, weighing in at 252 pounds. Kim Oti. 3 rounds, 3 minutes. Rocky referee.
Andy Menace and Aaron Hathcock back here with you cage side tonight for Cage Combat Championship 5. David Strange in the blue corner. He's wearing the camouflage trunks. He's taking on Ken O.T. in the black trunks, fighting out of the red corner. Ken O.T. has a bit of a weight advantage here on David Strange by about 40 pounds. Ken O.T. weighing 252, David Strange weighing 216.
Yeah, that's an interesting discrepancy in where these guys weighed in at.
And a big right hand missed from David
I
Strange. Ken O.T. knocked David Strange to the mat. And
I believe Rocky called it.
He's going to call this one
early.
That's the end of it. And with less than a minute gone by, less than 30 seconds
on that one.
Gone by in the first round, our winner, fighting out of the red corner, Ken O.T. at 252 pounds. Aaron, when you get back from doing this interview, you have to give us your assessment of this fight.
Absolutely.
We're going to send it down to our man Aaron Hathcock momentarily with our winner, Ken O.T. from Huntsville, Alabama, winner by technical knockout here in our 4th fight of the night. We'll send it down to Aaron Hathcock here momentarily.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the referee has stopped the match, and his determination has been as follows. Your winner of the contest from Huntsville, Alabama, Kim Oti.
Let's get a quick word with our winner, Ken O.T. Ken, you finished that fight in short work. Did you think that ending the fight with strikes was the way you were going to be able to win this fight?
No, my game is pretty much get him to the ground, wear him out. But, if referee start the fight, got to respect the decision.
Well, that was a good fight. Everybody, let's hear it for our winner, Ken O.T.
Ritter Communications gives you a universe of TV shows. And now TiVo brings you even more. Movies, music, and videos from the web. Get it all in one place and take it anywhere life takes you. Any show, any screen, anywhere. Introducing the TiVo Experience from Ritter Communications.
Call Ritter Communications at 888-336-4466.
Andy Menace back here cage side alongside Aaron Hathcock. Aaron, while we get ready for our 4th fight of the evening, right now getting set to enter the octagon, Terry Gallimore, he'll be fighting out of the blue corner. But what is your assessment out of the decision in the stoppage of the last fight? Ken O.T. wins at about the 30-second mark in round number 1 by a technical stoppage.
If even that long, Andy, and in that kind of a situation, you kind of have to feel for our referee, Rocky, there, because within 10 seconds, O.T. had a big right hand that came crashing through and knocked Strange to the ground. And then he went down, and he said it in his interview that he likes to finish fights on the ground. And he was going to continue. He had a 40-pound weight advantage, and he was going to continue to drop those great big bombs right onto David Strange. And I think that was as much a fighter protection move as anything from our referee.
Just very odd seeing a stoppage that early in a fight, but nonetheless, that is the decision of our 3rd fight of the evening. Ken O.T. winning by technical knockout over David the Reaper Strange, fighting out of Hot Springs. And Aaron, that is the 2nd technical knockout that we've seen thus far this evening. Getting ready for our 4th fight, I can only hope that the rest of the night has been as exciting as the first half of the night.
Absolutely. We'll see what the rest of the night holds. You never know, especially, as we've said before, in our situation where we're not entirely sure of what these fighter styles are when they come to the cage. and we're not exactly sure what their game plan may be because we often don't get the opportunity to talk to these guys and maybe feel out what their plans are. So it's always an interesting thing for us to sit over here and to kind of make an assessment about what's going on when we're not sure what these guys are thinking. So it's strictly it's almost like we get to be fans, but we get to talk about it all at the same time.
It's a great position that we're putting in
Oh,
here.
I certainly is. I absolutely enjoy it all completely.
Right now, Terry Gallimore standing in the ring awaiting his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, Breckley Patrick. While Breckley Patrick makes his entrance to the octagon, let's recap our fights thus far this evening. In our first fight of the evening, Wade, the Shallow Creature Dye, gets a victory via decision after the third round over his opponent, Austin Arterberry. Once again, your winner of the first fight, Wade Dye, fighting out of Kennett, Missouri, winning that one by decision. Our second fight of the night, a bit more action in that one. Didn't go quite as long as the first one did, but we got a lot of action in that first round. Nathan Gilmore from Lepanto, Arkansas, defeating Randy Gatlin from Paragould at the 1-minute 40-second mark in round number one. He wins that one via TKO. Referee Rocky Demir deemed that Randy Gatlin was not doing enough to protect himself, and thus Nathan Gilmore wins his first MMA appearance.
Yep, that's exactly how that happened. And, you know, in that third fight, it happened so quickly that I hope that trend doesn't continue, because if it does, we're going to have a referee stoppage during the fighter announcements in this fight.
And in our last fight, Ken O.T. winner by TKO early in the match. Let's send it down to our MC, Calvin McHenry, for the announcement of our fighters.
3-minute rounds. Introducing first, coming to us from the blue corner, out of Poplar Bluff, Missouri, weighing in at 154 pounds, Terry Gallimore. To my left, coming to us from Jonesboro, Arkansas, weighing in at 156 pounds, Break Patrick. 3 minutes, 3 rounds, David Dyer.
Your official for this contest.
Andy Manis and Aaron Hathcock back here at the BC Lloyd building, getting ready for our fourth fight of the evening. Terry Gallimore fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing the solid black trunks. Break Patrick fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the black trunks with white trim. Here we go, round number one. And Aaron, we are underway, and Breckley Patrick starting off just throwing blows, trading blows here with Terry Gallimore, and right now—
That was an interesting way to get a takedown right there.
Patrick on top. It was just the two throwing blows at each other, and before Patrick gets the takedown, and now you see him slamming Gallimore's back into the mat there, and that can't feel too good. Got to take a lot of energy out of this fighter.
But he is continually doing that, and he may be trying to work Gallimore over to the edge of the cage where he can't maneuver quite as much.
And there right now, Breckley Patrick standing up, and there he has a guillotine attempt, but it looks like Terry Gallimore is in decent position. He's almost got side control, even though his head is locked right now by Patrick.
And as he transitioned into half guard and was about to try to transition all the way into side control, you could see from our vantage point here how Patrick was able to lock his legs together and prevent that.
But Aaron, Patrick right now has got the head of Gallimore locked. He's got that guillotine all but locked in right now.
Well, if you notice where his wrist is, it's not completely underneath the chin.
Sure.
So I think, and that's what allowed Gallimore to get out of that. He didn't really have an advantage to have any leverage to put that choke in and maybe cut off that blood supply.
And Gallimore just attempted to move into full mount, and a nice reversal there by Patrick. Patrick now in side control.
When you saw that, it was almost like Patrick expected that's what was going to happen. And as soon as Gallimore went for that full mount, he rolled his hips and was able to reverse it, and he ended up on top.
And he's not quite in side control. As I mentioned, he's at half mount right now, it looks like, but he's trying everything he can do. And a nice reversal there again by Gallimore.
These guys are showing some skills on the ground in this fight, Andy.
And as you mentioned, Gallimore didn't just reverse it. He reversed it into a full mount position, and right now he is throwing right hands into the face of Patrick.
And if you notice, Gallimore has his heels hooked around the fronts of Patrick's legs, which allows Patrick to not maybe move his legs where he wants to get the leverage to try to get out of this.
And Gallimore, as you just mentioned, Gallimore is able to stay in that full mount position. And you got to think also, I mean, while Gallimore only weighs 154 pounds, that is taking a lot of energy out of Patrick being smothered like that from being on bottom.
Because Gallimore's weight is fully distributed over the torso of Patrick, and that's going to make it hard to breathe. It's going to make it hard for him to maneuver, and there's a great view of it right there.
Absolutely.
The thing that you trade off when you do that, if you're Gallimore, is you're maybe not able to scoot up on your opponent's torso closer to his armpits and get it like he's doing right now.
There you go.
Get more force on the blows for the ground and pound.
Complete top control right now for Gallimore from Poplar Bluff, and he is throwing furious blows to the face of Breck Lee Patrick.
And that's exactly what we were just talking about.
Patrick gives up his back.
He does, which is about the only way from that position you're going to have to get out of
Absolutely.
it. If you can't slide out the back door, and go under your opponent.
Well, and it looks like he's trying to buck off Gallimore right now, and now he's giving up his neck, but there's the end of round number 1, and I think that Breck Lee Patrick slightly saved by the bell there.
He may have been, because it looked like Gallimore was about to work his arm under his chin and possibly try a rear naked choke or some other submission attempt.
Well,
but it's interesting to see, as we were talking about the trade-offs between where he was at, where Gallimore was at in his mount position, it was almost like he heard us and decided that he wanted to take the other approach, scoot his body up further, which is just going to pin your opponent's upper torso down and have that advantage where he's up taller and able to rain some blows that are maybe a little more powerful down onto Patrick's face.
Well, after round number 1, Aaron, I think it's safe to say that I think that Gallimore is in a little bit of a favorable position as far as the judges are concerned. Patrick nailed a great reversal there while he was on the bottom, and then Gallimore reversed it right back. In my mind, I think after round number 1, the judges have to be favoring Gallimore.
I think so too. I think that would have to be a 10-9 round for Gallimore. I definitely wouldn't score it any more than that. I certainly don't think that Patrick lost that round by enough to have a 2-point deficit. But I do believe Gallimore did enough to be able to take that first round.
Sure. The start of round number 2. Here we go. The two trading kicks. Now they tie
up.
up.
And they close the distance up again, just like they started the first round.
And there's a nice guillotine takedown attempt by Breck Lee Patrick.
He didn't have it locked in enough, and so now we end up with
Gallimore
in side control.
Absolutely, Gallimore.
And he decides to go right back to the mount. I don't know that Patrick was ready for that transition in the mount.
It did not look like he was at all. It's completely
look at
unguarded.
What Gallimore has done. He's gone back to the layover in that little more prone spread out position, and he's attempting to keep the legs of Patrick locked up, but he's putting all of his weight on top of the torso of Patrick. And it's definitely going to keep Patrick from being able to move his diaphragm like he should, get as much air into his lungs. Well, and as you start to work your way through this fight, you're going to want air.
And not only that, after round 1, if Gallimore can just keep this favorable position for the majority of round 2, he has a great shot of sending it to a decision at the end of round number 3. Obviously, that's not how fighters want to end the fight, as it looks like he's attempting a bit of a rear naked choke here. Can't get it locked in, though, with his right hand, as you see there, just decides to throw punches.
His advantage is he's got both his feet. He has his hooks locked in there to Patrick, and we'll see if he wants to. He's not pursuing that choke, and I'm a little bit surprised.
Because right now it looks like Patrick is just giving up his neck.
I'm not sure what the strategy is there, unless.
Now, in your opinion, it looks like Gallimore could attempt a rear naked choke right here if he would just lock
if you'll notice
in
what
his
Patrick's
hands.
doing, Patrick is turning his head and his body into the choke, which is the best way to defend it. Other than getting out of the hole.
Sure.
But if you're locked in when your opponent has his hooks in around you like that, he's trying to keep his head and his body turned to where he can't get that choke locked in.
Well, and it looks like if Patrick can just spin his body around, he would be in perfect position to gain a full guard position and have Gallimore on his back.
Well, and that may be what he's trying to work for.
And it looks like that is.
To get Gallimore to a point where his legs are not locked as tightly, and then Patrick can flip his body over.
And there Gallimore attempting rear naked choke right here. He might have it locked in, Aaron.
It's hard to tell as they roll over from our angle there, and we can't see them actually as we look at the
It looks like he's got it locked in, Aaron.
I think he's sinking it in deeper and deeper as we wait. But
Breck Lee Patrick in a very, very unfavorable position right now. You see his movement start to slow down. If Terry Gallimore can flip to his right, as you see on the camera, he can sink
and
this.
He does. He turns.
Nice job by Breck Lee Patrick getting out of that. Now he gives up his back.
But now, once again, he's flipped it over and goes right to the guard like we talked about, Andy.
Nice job
by
Breck Lee Patrick.
That is exactly what we talked about. I'm sure the path to get there through that rear naked choke was not what he intended. But now he's even moved over to almost having the back of Gallimore.
10 seconds remaining here in round number 2, and now he does have the back. Breck Lee Patrick on top of Terry Gallimore, but Both fighters at this point in the round exhausted, and there is the end of round number 2. Aaron, I've got to say, round number 2, Breckley Patrick really made a comeback there at the end, but in my opinion, you've got to this point give it to Terry Gallimore. He's controlled the majority of the fight, although you've seen some great reversals from Breckley Patrick. I think you've got to give it to Terry Gallimore just because of the way he's been able to control the fight thus far.
That is absolutely a difficult round to call because it comes down to that thing we've talked about before.
I was going to say, right back to round number 1.
Exactly.
Is in the judge's mind, is it more important to control the fight, or is it more important to land these big reversals at the end of the round?
And as we talked about before, the judges are looking for effective striking or effective grappling, which is what we have the majority of in this fight. Control of the cage, the aggressiveness, and effective defense. And honestly, that fight, the way one fighter switched from almost being in a position where he was going to be choked out to ending up on top, but did it fairly late in the round, makes it difficult to decide who's going to get that round. And honestly, I kind of think the judges may want to give that round to Gallimore. I'm not 100% sure. I certainly don't know.
Well, getting set for round number 3. Here we go. Terry Gallimore fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing the solid black trunks. Breckley Patrick from Jonesboro fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with white trim. Here we go, round number 3.
One thing is for sure, Andy, that if the judges have scored each round for one of these fighters, then this becomes a one and done for these fighters, and whoever wins this round is going to win this fight, if that's indeed the way the judges' scorecards have it played out.
Both fighters here at the beginning of round number 3 content to just stand up with one another, and both fighters, in my opinion, Aaron, they looked a little gassed. And you have to imagine that from Breckley Patrick being on the bottom for the majority of this fight.
But, you know, as you say that, Terry Gallimore has expended a lot of energy while he was on top.
No doubt.
Because he
doubt
continued
about
to
it.
try to work for positions and spots of advantage.
A big knee there from Breckley Patrick, I think, caught Terry Gallimore off guard. And another right hand there catches Gallimore a little off guard once again.
It's interesting to wonder if Gallimore's or Patrick's corner told him, you need to finish this fight because we're not sure you're ahead on the scorecard.
Big takedown there from Patrick. As you say that, I think you got to be right.
Right there to a mount. Sort of, he's going for the arm bar.
Going for an arm bar, Breckley Patrick.
And if he can pry Patrick's arm out, or Gallimore's arm out, I'm sorry, then he'll be able to lock it in.
Now, how can Gallimore get out of this position? What can he do? And as I say that, it looks like he might have gotten out.
What he's got to do, but his arm is still in between the legs. And what he's got to do is try to work to a point where he can free up enough space between he and Patrick that he can get his arm out.
And there he goes right now. Terry Gallimore in side control of Breckley Patrick. About 1:30 seconds remaining in our final round between Gallimore and Patrick. And now Gallimore moves into full mount.
And in a way, that sequence right there has sort of been a kind of a story of this fight, Andy, where Brett Patrick has an advantage and looks like he may be close to having some sort of a really advantageous position, and then Gallimore turns it around on him. And he ends up in full mount.
Well, right now, throwing blows to the body of Patrick, and Gallimore in control right now.
A little less than a minute left in this fight.
And you got to think, if he controls this for the majority of the fight, if he is up on the judges' scorecard, he's going to win. If you're Breckley Patrick, you have to do something to try and end it right now. Like you mentioned a while ago, and it looks like he's got he's trying to pin Gallimore as close to his body as he can to try to prevent as many of those big blows as he can.
I think so. I think by this point he may be saying that I'm tired of this man hitting me in the face. I know I would be at this point.
Under 30 seconds remaining in round number 3, and Gallimore continues to just throw punches into the midsection of Patrick.
And Patrick is trying to buck his hips and create some space and get his way out of this, either by flipping it over or sliding out the back door. And I'm not sure he has enough energy at this point to pull it off.
With 10 seconds left, he gives up his back, and it looks like he almost has it reversed. And he does. He moves into full guard as round number 3 is over here in our 4th fight of the evening. Terry Gallimore and Breckley Patrick. While our judges tally up our decisions, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to send it right down to our man Aaron Hathcock in the ring to interview our winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner of the contest by unanimous decision from the blue corner from Poplar Bluff, Missouri, Terry Gallimore.
Real quick, let's interview our winner, Terry Gallimore. Terry, that fight, that was a tough fight, man. You guys went back and forth, and you guys went from being on the bottom to being on the top and back and forth. What was your plan coming into this fight?
Try and stand up as much as I could. If I took it to the ground, try and control it the best.
Do you feel like you did that successfully like the way you wanted to?
Yeah, he came out a little more aggressive than I thought, but yeah.
Well, man, good job. Congratulations to you. Terry Gallimore, everybody.
That was Terry Gallimore, our winner, with our man Aaron Hathcock down in the ring. 4 fights in tonight on Cage Combat Championship 5. We're going to take a quick break for an intermission. When we come back, we'll have some words from a Global Proving Ground fighter. And we'll talk a little bit with him about what's going on over at Global Proving Grounds. When we come back here on Tubetown Channel 21, you're watching Cage Combat Championship 5 right here.
John Muds, our
show you what the TCW champion do.
Yes! Big tackle! Nobody pulls the plug on Alan Steele.
He's saying that's it.
This is
too much.
Steel trap. He's trapped in steel trap.
Welcome back to Cage Combat Championship 5. I'm Andy Maness. This is Aaron Hathcock. We're here at pretty much halftime of Cage Combat Championship 5. We've had 4 fights already tonight, 4 fights still left to go, including a title fight and a professional MMA fight. What are your thoughts so far tonight, Aaron, about what we've seen and what we have yet to see?
Well, we've seen 2 decisions and we've seen 2 ground and pound knockouts. And every fight has been a good one. You know, I mean, we've seen it all. We've seen a knockout within 15, 20 seconds. We've seen a knockout later in the round. We've seen fights that went back and forth through every round, and maybe some fights, you know, where there was some domination in some of the rounds by one of the fighters. I'm looking forward to seeing the same kind of action the rest of this fight, and the fact that we have a title fight and a professional fight where there's maybe a little more tools available to the fighters, and we'll talk about that later, I think. I'm really excited for what's going on, and as we said, the atmosphere in this building tonight is incredible.
No doubt, absolutely electric in here tonight, and a big part of who made tonight possible was the MMA professional group Global Proving Grounds. And we actually had the chance to catch up tonight with one of Global Proving Grounds fighters, Enoch Brecker. He's a local fighter as well, here from Northeast Arkansas. But let's go to him right now and see what he had to say earlier tonight. Andy Maness back here with Cage Combat Championship 5. Standing here with Enoch Brecker right now, and he's with Global Proving Grounds, one of the MMA sponsors putting on tonight's fight. Tell us a little bit about Global Proving Grounds and what's going on with them.
Global Proving Ground, it's an organization. They're basically help fighters and then local shows get bigger. They're not really about promoting themselves. They're a promoting agency, and they like to advance the future of mixed martial arts itself and bring back that sportsmanship style, bring it back to a sport and less about me, and about the sport itself.
Now you guys have a little bit of a reality show going on right now called Warrior Island. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Warrior Island, I can't release a lot of details, but it'll be filmed in Hawaiian Islands. What it was fan-based, top 16 people in the world got voted onto the island. We get to go fight. Basically, kind of like Ultimate Fighter / Survivor meets Dancing with the Stars or something. It's just it's a reality show without as much reality, you know, without all the drama. I mean, more reality, less drama. So, so we're really looking at the individual's training, what each fighter goes through personally to get to where they're at, and so I'm just happy to get voted on and go represent Arkansas.
That's got to be a great privilege for that. And obviously, Enoch, you were supposed to be one of the fighters tonight, and things didn't work out for you. Tell us a little bit about Shelby Graham, though. What do you know about him? What is he going to be bringing into the octagon tonight?
Yeah, I was supposed to fight tonight. I apologize for that. I injured my shoulder. I re-injured my other shoulder from an injury that I had in Iraq, and then I injured my new shoulder. So I just really decided for my career, it'd be better if I sat this one out and and got more prepared for Warrior Island and stuff. But Shelby Shogun Graham, he's a real athletic fighter, real flashy. He's a southpaw, so that always makes the fight more interesting when you see two different stances. He's going to keep that outside foot and really bring a show with his left hand. He's coming in light. They allowed TJ to fight at 156, and Shelby is usually a 135er, so he's coming up light. So hopefully we're going to see a slugfest. So.
All right, well, good deal. Well, Enoch, I certainly appreciate you taking the time for this interview, and good luck to you on Warrior Island in the future.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks. Enoch Brecker from Global Proving Grounds. Welcome back to Cage Combat Championship 5 here on Tubetown Channel 21. Andy Maness and Aaron Hathcock ringside for the play-by-play tonight as we get set for our 5th fight tonight. Got 8 fights on the card tonight. We're through 4 already. And as we've hit the halfway point, Aaron, we've seen some exciting bouts already tonight. 2 fights ending in the first round, the other 2 ending via decision after 3 rounds. We've got 2 very special fights ahead of us tonight, including a title fight and a professional MMA fight tonight, thanks to Global Proving Grounds. Aaron, but this next matchup, Charles Johnson, as he gets set to go into the ring, he is not a small man.
No, he definitely has some size on him.
Most definitely. His opponent tonight, Pete Pirtle. And as those guys make their way to the ring, we'll kind of recap the fights earlier tonight. Our first fight of the night, Wade Dye gets a victory over Austin Arterberry. The second fight of the night, Nathan Gilmore over Randy Gatlin. He won that fight in the first round via TKO. The third fight of the night, Ken O.T., he also won that one in the first round via TKO over his opponent, David the Reaper Strange. In our last fight before the intermission, Terry Gallimore with a victory in decision over Breck Lee Patrick. And that all led up to this moment right now, Aaron, our 5th fight of the night. Charles Johnson, as he gets set for our opponent, entering the ring right now, battling out of the red corner, is going to be Pete Pirtle. And, I said Charles Johnson, not exactly a small man. Pete Pirtle, not exactly a small man either.
No, both of these guys bring a lot of size to this fight. Be interesting to see what kind of strategy they employ. As you and I said before, it's always interesting to see what these guys are going to bring out as a strategy.
No doubt, because once again, we don't know anything about these fighters ahead of time, so it's kind of a lot of guesswork and a lot of I don't know what to call it before we get into the fight.
Wire, sort of.
That's probably the best way to put it, I guess, winging it, flying by the seat of our pants.
Absolutely.
However you want to put it, but we're making it happen here tonight, Cage Combat Championship 5. A lot of local fighters, and right now we're going to send it down to our MC, Calvin McHenry, to announce our fighters for our 5th fight of the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest, 3 rounds for 3 minutes. Introducing our opponents. To my left, in the red corner, coming to us from Huntsville, Alabama, weighing in at 230 pounds, Pete Pirtle. To my right, coming to us from Hot Springs, Arkansas, weighing in at 225 pounds, Charles Johnson. 3 minutes, 3 rounds, ladies and gentlemen. Rocky, your official for this contest.
Andy Maness and Aaron Hathcock back here cage side tonight as we get set for our 5th fight of the evening. Charles Johnson battling out of the blue corner. He's wearing the green and camouflage tap-out trunks. His opponent tonight battling out of the red corner, Pete Pirtle. He is wearing these solid black trunks, fighting out of Huntsville, Alabama. 5th fight of the evening, a 3-minute, 3-round fight, and here we go. With round number 1.
We may not see a lot of ground action in this one, Andy.
And as as you just mentioned, the opponents getting right at the stand-up combat right here, and Pete Pirtle with his opponent Johnson. pinned up against the cage right now and throwing a couple of right bows and a
Wow,
big
that
knee
is an
to the
incredible
midsection.
knee.
And I think that took a lot out of Charles
That was an
Johnson.
incredible takedown. By
Huge slam by Pete
Pirtle.
Pirtle. Huge slam. He is in side control and in early control of this match in round number 1. Still 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in round number 1. Here in our 5th fight of the night, Cage Combat Championship 5. Pete Pirtle from Huntsville, Alabama, 230 pounds. His opponent, Charles Johnson, on the bottom right now, 225 pounds. And right now, he is on the wrong end of a big slam and a couple of big blows up against the cage, Aaron.
Pete Pirtle may have heard our commentary, Andy, and decided that he wanted to show us, and he's going for a Kimura right there. That's difficult to see, and he did.
He did, and he got it. He got it. Pete Pirtle with 1 minute 52 seconds remaining in round number 1 is the victor via submission tonight over Charles Johnson.
Wow, that was an incredible fight right there.
Absolutely incredible, and an absolutely early victory here in round number 1 for Pete Pirtle from Huntsville, Alabama, winning via submission. And that was a Kimura hold that he landed on Charles Johnson. And then right there you see referee Rocky Demir checking out Charles Johnson, making sure he's okay. We're going to send it down to our MC, Calvin McHenry, for the decision. After that, we'll hand it over to Aaron Hathcock with a word from our winner, Pete Pirtle.
I ain't broke. Stacking paper like old folks. You still staying with your old folks. She a fan, that's fantastic. Poppin', that's fantastic. Getting rich, fantastic. White girls like Anne Hathaway going way out they way for my bandwagon. She let me break and I ain't got a bandana. Oh, freaky. That's just how I move. Fast girls, fast money.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner of the contest due to tap out of Americana, Pete Pirtle.
They're doing everything that I have to, so every time I go out, you know I got to show out. Every time I go out, you know I bring the dough out. Every time they go out, you know they bring their dough out. Every time I go out, you know I bring the flow out.
Real quick, let's talk to our winner, Pete Pirtle. Man, did you know you were going to be able to put that Americana on him and finish this fight?
Well, that's what we do every week, day in and day out. We're jiu-jitsu gym, striking, Muay Thai. That's a common move that I do every day. That big guy that fought before me on the third count, I fight that guy every day. And that's who I practice it on every day. So, I mean, 260, 230, I always come in at 230, man, fight guys bigger than me. That's my first opponent that ever been the same size as me. But that move right there, we practice it every day. It's just come natural. And I knew once I got him on the mat near the cage, that arm was free. He hit me with an uppercut, but once I started isolating it with my head and got it where I could get the lock on in the figure four, automatic comes. And once you bring it down, the lights out. He tried to fight it. He almost got away from it, but once I re-gripped it, it was over with.
And that was an incredible fight and an incredible slam you threw on him over here by the cage, too. Do you practice that every day?
Yeah, we practice all disciplines of MMA. And thanks to a great coach, we come in every fight prepared for any opponent that we come up against. So I just want to appreciate my coach, first of all. And like I said, takedowns, everything. We practice all disciplines. But like I said, I appreciate you guys coming out tonight, and I really enjoy it. And appreciate my opponent. Much respect to him, and I hope you guys have me back again.
Great fight. Pete Pirtle, everybody. Good job.
Watch your head.
Watch out, Brandon.
fun hunting with your buddies, but it's really fun when you get limped with your buddies.
I've got a special technique where I just wait for the big bull.
Yeah, baby. I've been waiting for this moment. So long. I'm a fighter in the heart. I'm a warrior by blood. And now you're about to feel the rap. How we ride. It's a miracle, and now I'm knocking them out. A miracle, I wanna hear you shout. A miracle, and I mean it for life. Have my mama's love.
Welcome back to Cage Combat Championship 5. Andy Manus joined cage side tonight by Aaron Hathcock as we get set for our 6th fight of the evening. Right now, getting ready to enter the octagon, fighting out of the blue corner, Wes Harmon. His opponent fighting out of the red corner is going to be Steve Henderson. We'll see him enter the octagon momentarily. Aaron, our last decision, Pete Pirtle, he was a victor via submission in the first round. A little bit of a dispute over the move he used there at the end of the match.
Well, I don't think it was a dispute. When I glanced at our monitor, because they were facing the side that Americana was being applied was away from where I'm sitting, and when I glanced at the monitor, it looked like the arm was being turned under, which is a Kimura, which is what I said that it was. But when I went in the ring, I asked our referee, and as he was standing right over the top of it, he told me, he said, no, he had his arm turned over the top, and it was an Americana, which that's the difference between an Americana and a Kimura, is which way that arm is turned.
Basically the same hold, but you just moving in different directions.
Exactly. It's a variation on which way you take the arm to bend it and put it in a lot of pain. And you can see by the reaction there from Charles Johnson that it doesn't feel good. I've seen fighters have their arm broken with that move and a Kimura. So. And there were some people at ringside that were asking the referee if that was a Kimura or an Americana because they couldn't see it either. So apologize for not being able to pick that up on the monitor, but that's why I tried to clarify it with our referee.
Well, right now, getting ready to enter the octagon, Steve Henderson fighting out of the red corner. He enters as we speak. We're going to send it down to our MC for tonight, Calvin McHenry, momentarily to announce the fighters for our 6th match of the night. Wes Harmon taking on Steve Henderson.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Introducing first, to my left in the red corner, coming to us from Augusta, Arkansas, weighing in at 199 pounds. He is the headhunter, Steven Henderson. To my right in the blue corner, come to us from right here in Paragould, weighing in at 190 pounds, he is Wes Harmon. 3 rounds, 3 minutes. Rocky, your official for this contest.
Andy Manus, Aaron Hathcock back here with you, cage side for Cage Combat Championship 5 here in Paragould, Arkansas, getting ready for our 6th fight of the night. Fighting out of the blue corner, Wes Harmon from Paragould, Arkansas. He's wearing the black trunks with white trim, also wearing black trunks with white trim. Steve Henderson from Augusta, he is the headhunter. And Steve Henderson is the fighter without a camouflage stripe on his trunks, and right now he has got his back up against the cage, and Wes Harmon, the one with his back up against the cage, and right now in a submission hold.
He's got a choke right there with his arm in, like an arm in triangle almost.
And Henderson has got him pretty well locked in, waiting on word from referee Rocky Demir.
Harmon's doing everything he can to try to get his arm out of that hole.
And Aaron, it looks like Henderson has got him fairly well locked in right here. You see a right hand there from Harmon off the bottom.
But Harmon's still doing everything he can to get out of it. I'm not sure that it's as tight as Henderson wants it to be. But they call him the headhunter. Maybe this is why.
Maybe so. Maybe so. You see a bit of a struggle there from Harmon on the bottom as he tries to flip over the back of Henderson, but no go so far. And you've got to think at this point he's running out of air.
Well, he may very well be, or his blood supply to his brain may be being cut off. I don't think he has it in there.
It looks like the hold is not as it would be preferred for Henderson right now.
Well, if you're Henderson, you would want to. And now he's giving it up. He's giving the attempt up.
And now a nice reversal there from Harmon.
That is an excellent reversal by Harmon. He stuck through that.
Nice job by Harmon, as you said, sticking through it all the way. It looked like Henderson had a chance to take advantage of a full mount position, but now he's finding himself on the wrong end of the full mount.
Henderson may get caught by one of those up kicks if he's not careful.
Right now,
both fighters get back up and go right back down. That was sort of a mutual attempt at a takedown there.
Harmon right now, he has Henderson pinned against the cage right now as the two fighters tie up and now vying for position. It looks like Henderson trying to take advantage of Harmon's back, but Harmon, as you see now, is more in half control than he was a minute ago.
And we could tell from our vantage point, Andy, that Harmon was getting those shots in on the ear of Henderson.
And you see right there landing some shots to the midsection of Henderson with that right hand. Harmon has moved into half guard. And we'll see where it goes from here with about 30 seconds remaining.
The strategy of Harmon there is trying to make Henderson drop his arm down and take it off of Harmon's head, and then that frees up Harmon to be able to hit Henderson in the face some more.
Henderson on the ground right now. Harmon.
We can see that left side of Henderson already starting to get red and be whelped up.
Harmon is trying to move into full mount from half guard. And he almost succeeded, but right there you see the legs of Henderson trapping that left leg of Wes Harmon. And there's the 10-second mark. 10 seconds remaining in our first round between Wes Harmon and Steve Henderson. I'd say I think you have to give this first round as there's the horn ending round number one. Aaron, I think you've got to give the first round to Wes Harmon.
I think so
Wes
too.
Harmon, he started off the round in a pretty bad position, but was able to reverse it, and not only reverse it, but maintain the momentum after that reversal throughout the majority of the first round.
You got to think that even though as in between rounds here that the head hunter, Stephen Henderson, is not necessarily looking that much worse for wear, you got to think that those blows from Wes Harmon took their toll. And as soon as his corner man brought that stool in, head hunter Henderson immediately plopped down on it. He didn't just sit down on it, he fell onto it. So he may be a little more worse for wear than it appears on the surface. The second round will probably give us an indication of that.
Well, as you just saw there, Steve Henderson, as you mentioned, not only plopped on the stool, but you saw how deep of a breath he was taking there as he was getting some encouragement from his corner man there. On the other hand, Wes Harmon in the blue corner, not sitting down, did not sit down throughout that break, and doesn't look like he's breathing all that heavy over there in the blue corner. We'll see what happens as we get set for round number two here as Rocky Demir tells Steve Henderson to head back to the red corner. And here we go. He checks with both fighters, and here we go with round number two.
I think we're going to learn a lot in this round, Danny.
No doubt about it.
About the shape of both of these fighters and their conditioning, too. And a spinning back fist by Henderson.
And that attempt failed as Harmon now tied up with him, and Harmon has Henderson pinched against the cage.
Our fighters are clinched up against the cage. And now they get off the cage, and there's a...
Nice job by Harmon flipping that around.
He spun that around nicely.
And he does a takedown there, and
Henderson
winds up on the wrong end of it.
Harmon rode that all the way down. Their shorts are so close to the same color. When we're where we are and can't exactly see the entire fighter, it's hard to tell.
Right now, Wes Harmon on top. He's wearing the black trunks with the camouflage trim. Steve
He's got to clear that left knee, and just like that,
there he
goes into full mount, which is what you want to do if you're in that position. If you're in half guard and you have the opportunity to maybe push your opponent's leg down that's trapping your leg and transition to full mount or to side mount, you absolutely want to do that because it's a more advantageous position.
And is he attempting a submission here?
It almost looks like he is.
Looks like he might have a Kimura in, and there's the tap,
tap him out with a Kimura
from Steve Henderson. Steve Henderson taps out. 1 minute, 52 seconds remaining in our second round. And I think the winner, Wes Harmon, via submission.
That's two in a row that we've seen a submission and variations of a similar move there, Andy.
All right, here momentarily, we're going to send it down to our color commentator tonight, Aaron Hathcock. He'll have a word with our he'll have a word with our winner in our sixth fight of the evening, Wes Harmon. Coming up next, don't forget a title fight between Cody Lane and Kyle Jones, and of course our main event of the evening, a professional MMA bout between TJ Brown from right here in Arkansas. He'll be taking on Shelby Graham, fighting out of St. Louis, Missouri with the Global Proving Ground MMA Club. We're going to go ahead and send it down to our man, Calvin McHenry, with the decision for our 7th fight of the night. And after that, a word with Aaron Hathcock.
Your winner of the contest. As a result of Americana, your winner will be Wes Harmon.
Hey, Wes, I'd like to get an interview with you, man, if I could.
Yeah.
All right. Be right here. You got a minute to catch your breath?
Okay.
All right. Let's get an interview real quick with our winner, Wes Harmon. Is that the way you thought you'd be able to finish this fight? That was a lot of back and forth, both up, standing up, and on the ground. What do you think about the way you finished it?
No, I'll be honest with you. He's good. I thought he was going to walk in the ring, walk all over him, but he proved me wrong. We've had this battle out for a month now, mouthing back and forth to work. And he walked in, showed me that he could fight. I just got him with something he left open. And I caught that at the right time. I give my hands to him. He's good. If he keeps at it, he'll go a long ways with it. That's all I got.
Good job, man. Congratulations.
Hey, guys. Yeah, I was supposed to fight tonight. Unfortunately, I tore my AC joint in my shoulder, and I'm not going to be able to fight. But we got another guy coming in from the same organization, Global Proving Ground. Some of you, it's the first time y'all have heard of Global Proving Ground. You can go to, they got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, but you can follow them on there. But they've got this reality show called Warrior Island. They voted the top 16 in the world, got to get voted on, and we get to go fight on an island. And I was selected, so I get to go represent us and fight on an island against 16 other guys, kind of like the Ultimate Fighter reality series without all the drama. I'll try. But anyway, I just wanted to apologize to y'all for not being able to fight. I decided to take the 6 weeks off and heal up and focus more on that. They do have me a fight lined up for a possibility here again in January. So hopefully I'll be able to come back here and put on another show for y'all before we go put Arkansas on the map. But anyway, make sure you go look up Warrior Island or Global Proving Ground. You can follow me on Facebook, my fan page, Enoch the Irish Brick Bricker. Anyway, this next fight coming up is going to be an electric fight anyway. We got 2 fights left, but this next guy fighting, Cody Lane, he's you either want to watch him lose or watch him win, but you want to watch him fight because he's about the mouthiest guy in Paragould. He's mentally, he thinks he's the toughest guy in Paragould, so he is a pretty tough guy. He likes to run his mouth, but he can back most of it up. So we'll see what he can do here tonight. So y'all get loud for him.
And with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds, and it will determine who will be crowned the Cage Combat Championship Lightweight Champion.
Andy Maness and Aaron Hathcock back here with you, cage side for Cage Combat Championship 5. Right now, making his way to the octagon, Cody Lane from Paragould, Arkansas. He is a independent freestyle fighter, and as you just heard from one of Paragould's locals, and not only that, a fighter for Global Proving Grounds, Enoch Record. He called Cody Lane probably the mouthiest person in Paragould, Arkansas, and by all means could be one of the toughest. He said he had most of the stuff to back it up.
Yeah, makes you wonder what kind of history those two have.
No doubt about it. Very interested in what's going to go on tonight as Cody Lane makes his way into the octagon. His opponent tonight, Kyle Jones. All of this is going to be for the lightweight AA Productions championship belt. Whoever comes out the winner tonight is going to have some hardware to take home.
I think so. And a note on this fight, because it's a championship fight, we're informed that there will be 5 3-minute rounds instead of the 3 3-minute rounds that we have seen so far tonight.
Well, as you heard from Enoch Brecker, a very tough opponent in Cody Lane. We're going to find just how tough his opponent, Kyle Jones, is going to be tonight. Fighting out of the red corner, there you see he's making his way to the octagon as we speak. Kyle Jones from Hoxie, Arkansas, fighting out of the LC MMA club. And some notes I have about him, fighting of the Gracie Baja style, I guess.
Wow. Is that the name of the gym where he trains? It is,
I believe
right?
so. Yeah. Gracie Baja LC MMA.
Wow. So by that name, you know, because of the connotation of Gracie and the Gracie family and all they've done for MMA,
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu
is
what we can expect
I
from
would
this
tend to
gentleman.
expect from Kyle Jones.
No doubt about it. No
He may
doubt
totally
about it.
surprise us and come out and just start throwing bombs.
And once again, this fight, being a title fight, is going to be different from our previous 6 fights. As you mentioned just a minute ago, Aaron, this is going to be this fight is going to consist of 5 rounds, and each round will be 3 minutes apiece. What, in your opinion, is added onto this fight in adding those 2 extra rounds?
Well, whether this fight stays standing or goes to the ground or whichever way we see it go, obviously as a fighter who's going to fight 2 more rounds or 6 more minutes in this case, 6 minutes is a long time in that cage. I think you better come to the game with a little more in your gas tank.
No doubt about it. Let's send it down to our man Calvin McHenry momentarily to announce our fighters for our 7th fight of the evening and a title fight. This one for the lightweight AA Productions Championship belt.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this semi 5-round, 3 minutes main event of the night is for determining who will become the Cage Combat Championship lightweight champion here tonight. Introducing first, to my right, in the blue corner, from Paragould, Arkansas, weighing in 147 pounds, Cody Lane. His opponent, weighing in at 150 pounds, from Delaplane, Arkansas, Kyle M.F. Jones. 5 rounds, 3 minutes. Rocky, your referee for this title contest.
Andy Madison, Aaron Hathcock back here cage side tonight for Cage Combat Championship 5. And as you heard, Cody Lane, Kyle Jones getting set to tango in the octagon for the Cage Combat Championship lightweight belt, both weighing in at around 150 pounds tonight. And here we go, fighting out of the blue corner is going to be Cody Lane, fighting out of the red corner, Kyle Jones. And right now, both fighters wearing short black trunks, so you'll have to pay attention to their glove color. But right now,
both of these guys with some somewhat unsuccessful attempts to take the other fighter down.
Well, I was going to say Cody Lane is the one with his back pinned up against the cage right now, and Kyle Jones is, I guess, the dominant one thus far in the fight. We're only about 30 seconds in.
And as you say that, they reverse positions. Cody Lane reverses his position and gets off the cage.
And now Kyle Jones with his back to the octagon.
Hard to tell who this crowd was in favor of, and there's a takedown
nice
right
single
there
leg
by Kyle
takedown.
Jones.
Good single leg takedown.
He absolutely tripped him there, didn't he?
He did with one leg. Kyle Jones now in half guard, and he's trying to move over into full mount, but right there you see a guillotine attempt from Cody Lane on the bottom, and he does not have it locked in. But right now it looks like Kyle Jones, Aaron, has moved into full guard, excuse me. Or not half guard, I beg your pardon, into full mount position.
It's hard to tell. Yes, he did. I couldn't, from where we were sitting, I couldn't tell whose leg was over whose.
Cody Lane on the bottom right now, but he has the body of Kyle Jones trapped up against his, so he's preventing Kyle Jones from throwing any huge, devastating blows while he's in that unfortunate position.
And I think that's the strategy he's trying to employ here, and he is able to get
Moved
his leg
into
back
half
around
guard,
and go into half guard,
and he flipped it.
And then reverse it and sweep back over.
Kyle Jones now
that was
on
excellent maneuvering by Cody Lane.
Kyle Jones now on the bottom, Cody Lane on top, and the hometown favorite from here in Paragould has moved into half guard, and it looks like Kyle Jones trying to make something happen from on the bottom position, but right now he's not in good position.
But he's keeping control of that left wrist from Cody Lane. And then as I say that, he let it go.
A nice job by Cody Lane, though, for just moments ago on his back, and he has completely flipped the momentum of this fight so far, and he has moved into half guard. And right now it looks like he's trying to slip into into full mount, but he can't get that right leg free from Kyle Jones. Kyle Jones doing a good job of controlling the body, and there he gives up side control, but right as soon as I say that,
he maneuvered himself into a full guard position.
Absolutely. But Cody Lane with a bit of an advantage here as he's standing up.
And he's trying to get a little bit of leverage there.
Watch
out. Stay out of an armbar attempt.
That's what I was going to say. Watch out for that armbar attempt.
And how many times do we see that if you're the fighter that's in full guard and you stand up and try to hit your opponent and throw some ground and pound shots, and the guy on the bottom is able to get an armbar or an attempt on it with that guy who's on top?
This fight, not just any amateur fight, as we reach the 10-second mark, about 5 seconds left in the round. Big overhand shots from Cody Lane right at the bell. Kyle Jones, I think, saved a little bit by the bell as we reach the end of round number 1. As I was going to say, this one not just any amateur fight, Aaron. Once again, this one for the Cage Combat Championship lightweight championship belt. Cody Lane and Kyle Jones, our first 5-round bout of the night. Each one of these rounds is still going to be 3 minutes long, but the addition of 2 extra rounds in this fight is definitely going to have a toll on each fighter's conditioning.
And one thing you notice there is as we show the cut girl working on Kyle Jones, he seems to have a cut on his forehead a little high above his right eye.
And as you notice, Kyle Jones sitting down, his opponent Cody Lane still standing up in the corner while he receives work from his cut man.
And as we were saying earlier, with Kyle Jones being from Delaplane and Cody Lane being from Paragould, and both of those towns, obviously one of them is Paragould and the other one very close. This crowd, when they introduced our fighters, was basically split down the middle about who they seem to be rooting for.
No doubt about it.
It'll be interesting as we finish this fight to see how the crowd reacts.
And as we mentioned at the beginning of the fight, Kyle Jones of the Gracie Baja style, it'll be interesting to see if he tries to keep this more on the ground as we go on throughout the fight. And there, Jones back on his back already here in round number 2. Cody Lane on top and trying to throw some punches, and there he moves into side control.
He's definitely attempting it. He's got to do exactly what he just did and clear around that knee to be completely there in side control. And he looked like he was going to attempt to go to maybe full mount, and Jones flipped it around on him.
And right now, Kyle Jones on top, as you just mentioned. He reversed it, but here you go with Cody Lane. Cody Lane being a freestyle, independent type fighter, not part of any kind of club, and he doesn't have a particular style he likes to follow. So you got to wonder if all angles of this fight could be dangerous for Kyle Jones.
Well,
right now, he's on top and in a favorable position with side control, almost with the ability to move into half mount. Full mount.
And it looks like it's difficult to tell from where we are, but it almost looked like he was trying to trap one of Cody Lane's arms with his legs and the other one with his arms and get what's known as a crucifix position.
And right now, both fighters on the ground. Cody Lane pinned against the mat, Kyle Jones on top, and he is in full guard right now. Nice job by Cody Lane from keeping Kyle Jones. You know, if Kyle Jones is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist, you don't want to be on the ground with him.
And
but
look at what he was attempting a triangle choke there with his legs, and he almost got that left leg hooked over that heel of his right leg.
He went from the rubber guard to a triangle chokehold, and now he's attempting a takedown, but a nice job in defending that.
And as they stand up, you can see that cut on Kyle Jones's forehead.
And Kyle Jones is doing everything he can to block that takedown attempt, and he did it twice there. And there you see him throwing elbows to the back of Cody Lane. That can't feel very good, but still Kyle Jones is not in a favorable position right now.
No, it's almost a stalemate of sorts the way these two guys seem to be. Cody Lane tries again, and this time he gets him down, and he's
single leg takedown.
He is in the close guard now of Kyle Jones.
Cody Lane scores on the single leg takedown, and right now, as you just mentioned, he's in closed full guard, and it looks like Kyle Jones attempting rubber guard there, but he couldn't get it. Lane stands up a little bit on his knees, trying to throw some shots in from the full guard position. And there you see Jones working the rubber guard, and he had to let it go back to the closed to full guard position.
And there you can get
Lane
a good look
stands
at that cut.
up.
above the right eye there of Kyle Jones.
Got to be an issue he has to worry about throughout the rounds as he goes on throughout tonight's title fight.
As this round closes out, let's remember that this is 5 rounds and not 3. So we're about to go to the 3rd round, which normally would be our last round, but not in this fight.
And there's the horn sounding the end of round number 2. Both fighters glance at each other, give each other a good tap. Nice mutual respect between both fighters. And honestly, I've got to, in my opinion, Aaron, I think that Cody Lane he hasn't been in control of this fight for the majority, but I think that the judges are gonna rule in favor of him thus far.
Well, you know, and that's kind of the way that I see it too. And obviously, as we've said many, many times, I am not a judge in this state.
Well, that's why we're up here.
Yeah, and it's very difficult to determine how a judge is going to see the fight. They obviously sit beside the cage and they have a better vantage point than we do. Obviously, they're trained to see certain things. But it looks to me like the control of the cage has been dominated by Cody Lane. Definitely Cody Lane has had flurries, especially at the end of the 1st round. And certainly, not that it's necessarily judging criteria, but when you look at these two fighters as they are in each their respective corners, definitely Kyle Jones definitely looks more damaged,
more
if you
winded.
will.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
but more damaged physically
and the
too.
cut
because,
as well.
Because not only the cut on the forehead that we've mentioned, but also the cut girl that time seemed to be working on a nosebleed.
But keep in mind though that Kyle Jones has scored a couple of takedowns thus far, even though he drug Cody Lane down, you know, and landed on his back. That's still considered a takedown because he was using Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's interesting to see what's going on. And Cody Lane waits in the corner
as round number 3 begins. Absolutely, Cody Lane.
That's an interesting strategy there.
You got to wonder if that's a little bit of fatigue or a little bit of cockiness on the part of Cody Lane.
Depending on what you want to
big
believe
left
about
hand
Cody Lane.
misses there from Kyle Jones.
You know, was that a little bit of showmanship and maybe some cockiness on Cody Lane's part? It's hard to tell from here. But Cody Lane landed some big shots and then now dodging and taunting Kyle Jones. I believe he's taunting Kyle Jones.
I think so, absolutely. Right now, look at the body
language
of Cody Lane.
Look at his hands down at his sides.
He's holding his hands down by his body, not guarding his face, and he just took a big shot from Kyle Jones, and right now his back pinned up against the cage. You got to think that Kyle Jones is a little, I would imagine, perturbed.
Well, he may be, and it's possible that he's thinking back to a fight that happened in the UFC earlier this year where Chris Weidman caught Anderson Silva, who was doing something very similar to what Cody Lane just did. Had his arms down, dodging, very athletic, very intuitive as a fighter, but he got caught and he got knocked out, and he's no longer the middleweight champion.
But
in the
right
UFC.
now, Cody Lane flipped it, tried to do a single leg takedown, and just like that, Kyle Jones has it reversed once again. And there,
Kyle
a takedown,
Jones takes him down, and
guillotine submission.
He's attempting to get that guillotine right now.
He is attempting to lock in the guillotine as we speak. Kyle Jones has got Cody Lane. Will he tap him out?
The crowd is yelling.
Cody Lane trying to use the cage. Cody Lane to flip over.
Is that what that was? A thumbs up to the referee?
It looked like it, absolutely.
And he seems to have maneuvered out of the majority of that trouble.
He has, no doubt about it. It looks like he might have even reversed the position that he was in. He's got the neck of Kyle Jones right now.
He does,
but
and
now
I believe
Kyle
it's more
Jones,
just to put Jones in a disadvantageous position.
Kyle Jones is absolutely, though, in an advantageous position right now at the side control.
Let's not forget that as we go to a minute left in this 3rd round.
And Lane is trying to use the cage to his advantage, trying to use that for momentum and leverage to flip himself over, but he can't get it done. The body weight of Kyle Jones right now too much.
And what he's trying to do is maneuver himself to Kyle Jones's back there, it looks like.
And he's almost got it.
That was an incredible thing that happened, though, as our referee, Rocky, bent down and was trying to check on Cody Lane. Cody Lane sticks his hand up and says, thumbs up, I'm okay. Don't you stop this fight, please,
Nice job
sir.
by Kyle Jones, though, as we speak, from flipping the body of Cody Lane around and keeping him from using his feet against the cage for leverage. Right now, Kyle Jones
and look at Kyle Jones trying to transition maybe to the other side. I thought he was going to stop at full mount.
I thought he was too.
But honestly, I think he's trying to get that arm in submission right there.
No, he is right now trying to use the cage to his leverage.
He sure is, but he flipped from one side to the other instead of stopping and mount, maybe to get this arm in choke right here.
And he's trying to, it looks like he may be trying to either do the choke hold, and it thumbs up there once again from Cody Lane.
Because we've heard the 10-second bell, and we're about to finish
and
the round right there.
And there is the end of round number 3, as you just mentioned, Aaron, and as you mentioned a moment ago.
Best round of the fight right there, Andy.
Well, but not only that, as you mentioned a moment ago, and look at
Kyle
Jones.
Has a newfound wind and a newfound exuberance for this fight.
He was kind of, dancing a little there in the red corner at the end of round number 3. But Aaron, I've got to go back to something you mentioned a moment ago. This is where every other fight to this point of the night would have ended.
That's
but
right.
this being a title fight, we've got 2 more rounds left to go.
We are entering the championship rounds, and we'll see if it becomes deep water for one of these fighters. Can one of these fighters have the ability and the cardio to maybe take the other fighter into the deep water where he can't survive in these last 2 rounds?
And with that said, we see Kyle Jones sitting down on his stool,
and then coming right back up
and in the other corner, Cody Lane with his hands on his knees, bent over, and now posted up in the blue corner. Who will have the cardio and the endurance, the heart to win the lightweight cage combat championship belt here tonight?
Well, I have it 2 rounds to 1 Cody Lane right now, but there's a long way to go in this fight, Andy.
2 rounds
And
remaining
once
as we
again-
get set for round number 4.
Once again, is this fatigue from Cody Lane? Is it gamesmanship? Let's see what happens. And these guys slap hands as they come out.
Good show of sportsmanship, and as you just mentioned, Cody Lane
Nice
came
left.
Cody Lane came out of the blue corner a little bit slow there, as he did the last round.
But maybe not quite as showy as in the last round either. It'll be interesting to see how this round transpires.
Cody Lane pinned up against the octagon right now as Kyle Jones has one arm, he's got double underhooks right now.
Yes.
And it looks like Cody Lane trying to flip the momentum around right now, but right now his back up against the octagon. Kyle
And
Jones
he does. He spins
and
it
there's
around.
the flip. There's the flip, and Kyle Jones trying to flip him right back around. We'll see who
And
can
there we
take
go.
down who. Kyle Jones back in control.
A little bit of a physical chess match as we start this 4th round.
You see some knees to the inside there of Cody Lane. Kyle Jones trying to wear down his opponent a little bit.
Cody Lane's trying to get some space there. I think he wants to take it back to the middle of the cage and maybe swing it out a little bit.
Well, if you're trying to face someone who is, by our assumption, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, student.
But look at the difference, Andy, in the
I
way
would
these
want
two
to stand
fighters
with
are
him.
moving.
I would want to stand up with him as well. And right now, Lane with his back against the octagon once again.
A little bit of a hop from Kyle Jones as they separated. And if you notice, Cody Lane seemed to be having his mouth open and mouth breathing under his mouthpiece.
And anytime,
maybe not moving and bouncing as much as Kyle Jones was. I'm interested to see how Cody Lane's cardio plays out in the rest of this fight.
anytime as a fighter you have your mouth open like that and breathing through your mouth, you have a really, really good chance of getting caught with a stray
Look at
with
those
a
arms
stray
of
punch.
Cody Lane. Look at those arms of Cody Lane, maybe trying to work it underneath.
There's
as
the
he's avoiding
guillotine
the
attempt,
takedown.
and
He's got
Cody
it.
Lane
He's
has got the
it locked in.
guillotine.
He's going to go down and try to get some more
Standing up.
leverage.
Cody Lane has got the guillotine locked in. We'll see if Kyle Jones can get out of it.
And Jones is trying to get the leverage to where he can maybe take the pressure off of his neck.
Kyle Jones is inside control, and I
And
think
he does.
he's got it.
You could see
he
as
broke
Cody
the
Lane
hold.
had his arm up under the chin, and Lane moved into Jones moved into side control, and then he turned his head and used his body to get leverage, and you could see Cody Lane's arm being forced out from under his
It was
chin.
a nice,
and that's how he got out of that hole.
Nice job by Kyle Jones, and right now back inside control. And that was an absolutely amazing reversal that we just saw.
Less than 45 seconds left in this 4th round of this championship fight, Andy.
And it looks like Kyle Jones right now is trying to get into full mount position.
I
He's
believe
almost
he's
slipped
there.
it. He's almost slipped it. There he is.
And he's going to throw a little ground and pound, and Cody Lane hanging on for dear life right now.
20 seconds remaining in round number 4. Will Kyle Jones be able to pull off the
that's a smart
knockout?
move by Cody Lane by burying his head in the abdomen of Kyle Jones, because Kyle Jones, remember, can't hit him in the back of the head. And that's
And when you have to punch that shortly, you can't get any kind of power behind those punches.
right. And these guys are continually going back and forth. What a
There-
great fight this is, Andy.
That's the end of round number 4. The bell sounds, and there you see a great show of
Look at
sportsmanship.
these guys hug each other as they close that round. They know
between
they're
the
putting
two
on a
fighters.
great show.
Absolutely, and that's what they're here to do tonight. Not just to beat the hell out of one another, but here to put on a good show for our fans here in Paragould tonight. And I feel like these guys have by far put on the best show here
I
tonight.
definitely think so far this is an excellent candidate for fight of the night.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you what else I think, Andy. Honestly, I think that round went to Jones too, overall. I know that Cody Lane maybe had a flourish at the end of it, and he stands there again with his head down, his hands on his knees. Kyle Jones is pointing, looking up, looks like he's angry and ready to finish this fight. I think this is a one-and-done round, Andy. I think it's tied 2-2 right now. That's how I have it on my card.
Aaron, you have absolutely read my mind. That is the way that I have scored it as well. It is completely 50-50 right now in my mind. And with round number 5 about to begin, One of these fighters is going to win it in this one right here.
And I'll be honest with you, Andy, to me, to make a sports analogy, in MMA, the 5th round of a championship fight is like the 9th inning. You're up to bat, bases loaded, and here we go.
Both fighters showing mutual respect, high-fiving one another in the middle of the octagon, and they'll start the 5th round by trading
haymakers and blows back and forth from these
And
guys.
right now, Cody Lane
with a
some
knee
big
as he
blows.
goes to the fence.
He threw some big shots, and as you just said, he was at the fence but reversed it and now looked like he was going to attempt a takedown, but is now trying to fight, trying to be pinned against the fence once again. But he is. Kyle Jones has pinned him once again.
And
that is what we have seen the majority of
tonight.
You
have got to think that Kyle Jones maybe wants to get this fight back on the ground and see what he can do to maybe dominate this fight.
It looks like Cody Lane might have given himself up there to a takedown, and it looks like Kyle Jones. Would you call that a score and a takedown, a single leg takedown?
In this fight, maybe so.
But right at the same time, Cody Lane looks like he has one arm.
He's
his
got
left
it to the
hand.
Side. He's got it to the side of the neck there, and as you see, Kyle Jones turning his head, and once again, he gets out of that possible attempt at a submission. But Cody Lane comes back and stands back up, and now he's in a more advantageous position.
Jones with the body of Lane pinned up against him. Jones with his back to the cage, and he is trying to wrench maybe an attempt at a guillotine here. But right now, he's just trying to block any kind of takedown attempt from Cody Lane.
And he's maybe going to try to pick Cody Lane up and maybe slam him down. That's almost what it looked like. Is that another cut on Kyle Jones's forehead?
It looks like another cut above the left eye of Kyle Jones, but right now he's got two arms underhooked right now from Cody Lane.
A little bit of space that Cody Lane was trying to get an advantage of, and Jones takes him right to the fence again.
Cody Lane bloodied and beaten, but not quitting so far, and he's attempting
There's
a
slam right there.
But Kyle Jones has got the left arm underhooked for a guillotine. Will he be able to sink it in with 1 minute left here in the 5th and final round of this title match?
That's Cody Lane on the bottom with that arm, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And Kyle Jones is sliding out of it. And
He
honestly, what may have helped him get out of that hold is those cuts and the bleeding from his forehead.
No doubt about it.
And as we have spoken before, the later you get in a fight, the more the fighters are sweaty, the harder it is to lock a submission on somebody because it's so slick with that skin-to-skin contact. And you add to that all the blood that's on Kyle Jones's forehead, that may have helped him escape from that possible guillotine attempt.
Well, right now, Kyle Jones attempting to slip into full mount. He's inside control right now on top of Cody Lane with 30 seconds remaining in our 5th and final round. An exciting 30 seconds ahead of us here in the last round of this title matchup right now. Kyle Jones on top of Cody Lane. Kyle Jones trying to get into a favorable position.
It all comes down to these last 15 seconds.
15 seconds remaining in our 5th and final round.
Big knee from Kyle Jones.
Huge knee from Kyle Jones. Cody Lane on bottom trying to make something happen in the last 5 seconds. And there is the horn ending our 5th and final round of our lightweight Cage Combat Championship title fight.
Wow, and another card that's going to go to the judges there, Andy. How do you see this fight?
Aaron, I got to be honest with you. It's a complete coin toss. As you mentioned earlier, before the start of the 5th round, it seemed like both fighters had a 50-50 shot. In my mind, it's Kyle Jones.
I think so, too. On my card, I have it 48-47, Kyle Jones 3 rounds to 2. We'll see who wins this fight. I'm excited to go in there and interview whichever one of these guys wins this fight.
No doubt about it. Well, we will send it down to our man Aaron Hathcock momentarily after the decision announced by our MC tonight, Calvin McHenry. A lightweight AA championship title belt on the line. Cody Lane taking on Kyle Jones. Who's going to be the winner? We'll send it down to our ring announcer for the decision.
What about Paragould, Arkansas? What'd you think about that? Was that the fight of the night or what? Give it up for both of them. Cody Lane, Kyle Jones, they fought their hearts out here tonight. We will have the referee's decision here in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to announce your newly crowned Cage Combat Champion lightweight champion. In the blue corner from Paragould, Arkansas, Cody Lane.
Hey, let's give it up for both of these guys. That was an incredible fight. No doubt in my mind so far, that's fight of the night. Let's talk to our new lightweight champion real quick, Cody Lane. Man, tell me about that fight. Tell me about how that fight was back and forth constantly. Tell me what you thought about it.
Kyle Jones, you're a tough-ass dude, man. You're tough. I'll give it to you. I didn't expect that much out of you. Your ground game was a little better than mine. I guess it came down to the judges, and we both did a good job, man. Good job.
Man, that fight was so back and forth. What do you think gave you the advantage on those judges' scorecards?
Stand up for sure. Stand up. I mean, he did pretty good on the ground. It was back and back. I think I dominated standing up.
What an incredible fight. My hat's off to you. My hat's off to Kyle. One more time for these guys, everybody.
There's your new lightweight champion for Cage Combat Championship. Cody Lane from Paragould, Arkansas. By all accounts, the mouthiest and toughest fighter in Paragould. We're going to come back with our main event of the evening. It's going to be a professional fight. TJ Brown from Westside MMA, fighting out of Little Rock, Arkansas, is going to be taking on Global Proving Grounds' own Shelby Graham, fighting out of St. Louis, Missouri. We'll have that main event coming up for you next. This is Cage Combat Championship 5. You're watching it right here on Tubetown, Channel 21.
Ritter Communications gives you a universe of TV shows. And now TiVo brings you even more. Movies, music, and videos from the web. Get it all in one place and take it anywhere life takes you. Any show, any screen, anywhere. Introducing the TiVo Experience from Ritter Communications.
Call Ritter Communications at 888-336-4466.
Welcome back to the BC Lloyd building here on the fairgrounds of Greene County. We're in Paragould. Andy Manus, Aaron Hathcock sitting cage side tonight, getting ready for our main event, walking to the octagon right now. Fighting out of the blue corner, TJ Brown from the Westside MMA group, fighting out of Little Rock, Arkansas. His opponent tonight from Global Proving Grounds, fighting out of St. Louis, Missouri, is going to be Shelby Graham. Aaron, your thoughts tonight on this professional matchup? TJ Brown fighting Shelby Graham.
I'm ready to see this pro fight. And you know, Andy, there's a couple of differences we're going to see in this fight. One, in the timing. Because this is a pro fight, it's not a title fight, so there'll be 3 rounds, but each round is going to be 5 minutes instead of 3. So our fighters, if we go the distance, are going to have to fight 15 minutes instead of 9. The other big difference is in the rules. As we mentioned before, in amateur fights, elbows and knees to the head of an opponent who's not grounded are illegal. Not in a pro fight. In a pro fight, much like you may see if you watch the UFC or Bellator, is that elbows and knees to your opponent's head, as long as they're not grounded, like we talked about before, if they don't have a hand on the ground or something like that. If that's the case, they're legal. So we may see some elbow shots, some knees to the head. That could change things. I've seen, we've all seen fights where elbows to the head are an absolute game changer. They can open up big cuts. Elbows seem to open up cuts on the head a lot because of that bone. And we'll see how that may affect this fight.
Very interesting fight on our hands here tonight. Our main event right now, TJ Brown in the octagon, but right now making his way to the octagon, Shelby Graham fighting out of St. Louis, Missouri, a fighter fighting for Global Proving Grounds tonight.
Took this fight a little bit at the last minute, didn't he, because of the injury?
He did, absolutely. You heard earlier in the night from Enoch Brecker, a fighter who is locally known, and he is a member of the Global Proving Grounds. And right now you see him there on screen kind of as a hype man for Shelby Graham here before his fight tonight. But, you know, I think with Enoch Brecker taking I guess a rain check for tonight's fight, he's got obviously more important things on his horizon. He's got the Warrior Island thing coming up, the reality TV show coming up, sponsored by Global Proving Grounds. That's a very important thing going on, and it could be a huge step in his career. I don't think anybody faults him for sitting out tonight's fight. Obviously, he had the injury to his shoulder, as you heard earlier
and you
tonight.
You got to think, at going into that reality show format of Warrior Island, that he wants to be 100%.
And that could be a huge, huge step in his career for MMA. And absolutely, I can't blame him for wanting to be 100% healthy.
No,
not at all.
I think that may end up being the best call for him. And if Shelby Graham can pull this fight out for their camp, that's an even bigger feather, and it looks like an even smarter decision.
Absolutely. And right now you see Enoch Brecker as the cut man for Shelby Graham as Graham gets ready to head into the ring. He'll be fighting out of the red corner tonight, once again out of St. Louis, Missouri, from Global Proving Grounds. He is a stand-in fighter tonight, as Aaron just mentioned, fighting on short notice because of Enoch Brecker's injury. And once again, can't blame Enoch Brecker for not wanting to fight with the big Warrior Island event coming up for him. So both fighters in the ring right now. We're going to send it down to our MC, Calvin McHenry, to announce our fighters for our main event, Cage Combat Championship 5.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Our main event of the night. Scheduled 3 rounds, 5 minutes each. Introducing first, to my left in the red corner. He is from St. Louis, Missouri, representing Global Proving Guard, a military vet, weighing in at 148 pounds. Give it up for Shelby Shogun Graham. His opponent from Little Rock, Arkansas, weighing in at 155 pounds, TJ Brown.
Andy Manus, Aaron Hathcock back cage side for our main event of the evening. Shelby Graham fighting out of the red corner. He is wearing the black trunks with red trim. His opponent, TJ Brown from Little Rock, Arkansas, fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing the white trunks with black trim. Here we go. Our first round of 5 minutes in this professional bout.
Watching these guys and the way that they kind of warmed up in some of their actions, Andy, this might be a stand-up battle.
And there you see TJ Brown starting off with a leg kick. Shelby Graham caught a little bit of it, and there Brown threw another kick. Graham was able to get out of the way of that one. A big right kick from Shelby Graham.
Right to the back, but then a big right hand from TJ Brown.
So both fighters trading blows in the middle of the octagon right now. Neither fighter able to gain an edge on the other one right now. Big right kick missed from Shelby Graham, and TJ Brown takes advantage of it, but right back there, the two fighters stand up once again. Couple of missed blows from either fighter.
And you wonder, even though I think that there's not a lot of difference in quickness, it's interesting how Shelby Graham seems to have his left hand. He's carrying his left hand very low, and TJ Brown seems to like to throw that right hand.
Nice takedown there, though, by Shelby Shogun Graham. Graham, great wrestling moves on the ground from Graham. And Graham with an attempted guillotine. He might have it, he doesn't quite have it locked in, but he's got a good position right now on TJ Brown.
He does.
Shelby Graham has got the left arm of Brown locked in. He's got his arms underneath the head of Brown, but Brown gets out of it. And now Brown in side control, but his head is still controlled by Shelby Shogun Graham.
But it's sort of a mutual control of the bodies there, because if you look at TJ Brown, he's got both his hands around the upper torso, and he flips himself over and attempts to get the back.
There, TJ Brown, as you just said, got the back of Graham. And
trying to get both those hooks in.
He is holding on right now, about 3 minutes left in round number 1, and both fighters will stand
back up again.
once again. Big kick
Wow.
from TJ Brown.
And look at Shelby Graham say that didn't hurt me, even though we heard that all the way over here at the announce table.
He tried a Superman punch, did TJ Brown, missed it, but he's able to get Graham up against the cage right now and trying to attempt a takedown, but Graham doing a great job of blocking it. And there's a takedown by Brown, but Graham winds up on top and in a favorable position, and now once again they stand back up, and Graham has got his back to the octagon once again.
Wow.
Double, it seems like one underhook right now. Brown has got one leg hooked of Graham, and he's in a position to attempt a takedown, but he does not. And there you see him switch legs and go for the left leg. He's attempting a takedown, but look at Graham right now with his left arm underhooked the throat of TJ Brown.
And he's
a
trying
great
to work
opportunity.
For some more leverage.
He's got a great opportunity, as you just said, if he can get leverage to land
but then
a
he let
guillotine.
it go. I think he was afraid he may. Well, there he goes
He's
again.
got it. It's a standing guillotine attempt right now from
but I'm
Shelby
not sure
Shogun
he's
Graham.
got it. I think he's still got some chin.
He doesn't have it completely locked in, as you just mentioned. It seems TJ Brown has got his chin pinned against his chest, but that still is cutting off a lot of airflow from TJ Brown. About
Still 2 minutes left in this round. Exactly. We're talking the same thing. And you can see the effect at 5 minutes as opposed to the 3. Nice spinning back kick to the face.
Huge kick from Shelby Shogun Graham.
And that extra 2 minutes may give you the opportunity as a fighter, if you could pull that move off, to be able to do that.
We saw him attempt that in warm-ups, as you were talking about, and man, he landed it perfectly here in the middle of round number 1. About 1 minute 30 seconds left, and I think it caught TJ Brown a little off guard. You see his regained his senses. He's okay. Shelby Graham a little cocky right here.
He's very
with his
confident
defense.
inside that cage, isn't he?
No doubt about it. And there you see
single leg attempt,
and it
and
failed.
he tries to turn it into a double, but Graham backs himself up against the cage,
Nice
and then a big
takedown.
slam from TJ Brown.
But Shelby Graham has got the guillotine almost halfway locked in. You see right there, he just moved his right arm around the throat of Brown, but Brown is still in a very good position to block that guillotine attempt.
I think
Although
so, and then he
his
gets some
airflow,
control of the wrist there of Graham.
even though that guillotine attempt was blocked, that airflow is still being cut off when he's put in a
Well,
position
and either
like
way,
that.
if you're TJ Brown and Graham is attempting that guillotine on you, you have to maybe abandon your plan when you took him to the ground like TJ Brown just did, and think about making sure that you don't get choked out. So you have to abandon your plan for just a moment and expend some energy to try to get out of that and get yourself in a position where you won't get choked out.
About 30 seconds left here in round number 1. Remember, this is a professional fight.
Another
miss.
spinning kick.
And he missed that one, did Shelby Graham, but he winds up in almost a full mount position.
And he is
under 30 seconds remaining in round number 1.
Now he's going for the back. He's got both hooks in.
And he is
posted up on that right
I was
arm.
going to say he's got back control as well. Got both of his legs locked
He's
in,
attempting that rear naked.
and he doesn't have it locked.
But see, what Brown did is he spun into it. And that's a good way to get – look at those elbows. See, we talked about the elbows and how they may come into play because they're legal. 5 seconds left. Let's see if Brown can hang on.
And there's a rear naked choke.
He's
Does he have it locked
got to hang
in?
on. Bam.
There's the horn, and saved by the bell is Little Rock's own TJ Brown. After round number 1, Aaron, I've got to give this professional MMA fight to Shelby Shogun Graham. It seems like while both fighters spent a lot of time in a dominant position, it seemed like Shelby Shogun Graham, as far as damage-wise, was able to do the most in round number 1.
Well, think about it. You had the spinning kick. You had the kick, at the early in the round.
Absolutely.
Even though TJ Brown landed that great big kick to the body, and a couple of punches, I think the more effective striker in that round was Shelby Graham. I definitely think Shelby Graham seemed to have a better advantage on the ground. I have it right now, that round going to Graham.
I've got it going to Graham as well. It's hard to think. Now, granted, I am not trying to take anything at all away from TJ Brown. That was a great first round that we saw out of the West Side MMA fighter. But as you just mentioned, it seemed like Graham was able to control more of that round. He was able to control more of the activity that was on the mat in round number 1.
We'll see. This may come down to some takedown defense from TJ Brown. If he can keep it standing, he appears to prefer it on the feet.
Well, you saw a mutual show of respect between the two fighters here at the beginning of round number 2. They come out and touch gloves, and both fighters just kind of trying to feel each
and
other
look
out
at
here
Shelby
in the
Graham
early,
switch back and
early
forth
goings.
from orthodox to lefty and back again.
No doubt about it. And you got to think that throws T.J. Brown off a little bit, switching from orthodox to southpaw.
Well,
But
and it
right
may
now,
be.
Graham up against the fence, and you see T.J. Brown, that position immediately switched as soon as I say that.
And a great takedown. And then, but look at Graham roll it over.
I think Graham caught Brown with a big punch there. And Brown got caught off guard, but right now he's back in an advantageous position.
He is.
He's got the back control, and he's throwing blows to the back of the head of Shelby Shogun Graham. Big knee to the midsection as Graham stands up, and the two go back at it toe-to-toe in the middle of the octagon.
And once again, even though Graham had his hand on the ground there, that knee to the body is perfectly legal. It's a knee to the head with a grounded opponent that is what's not allowed by the rules.
And that's a great call and a great awareness by our official, Rocky Demir, tonight. He is the referee in the middle of round number 2. Big right kick missed by Shelby Graham. Nice avoidance of that move by T.J. Brown.
And there's a sprawl right there.
And I was going to say a nice takedown avoidance there by T.J. Brown.
He still has that leg given up, but he's going to get out of that. I started to say any kind of a knee bar or heel hook submission attempt by Graham isn't going to work because his leg wasn't deep enough
Shelby Graham
into it.
has got Brown pinned up against the octagon, and he's not letting him get an inch of room right now either. And there, as soon as I say that, it seems like, Brown caught a big left knee there as he spins Shelby Shogun Graham against the octagon, his back against the cage.
There's
now.
one of those elbows to the head.
And it looks like Brown, if he can flip that right arm, Graham, if he can flip that right arm of Brown over, but he let that go, and now a takedown.
There's a
attempt
takedown
by
from Brown.
Now, who do you score that for? Do you score that for Brown or Graham?
Well, I think personally I would score it for Brown because he had Graham up against the fence.
When right now Graham has got his left arm underhooked the chin of T.J. Brown.
But he doesn't have his wrist up underneath, and you got to try to get some of that forearm up underneath because what you're trying to do is take those blood vessels in the neck and cut off the blood supply to the brain.
And T.J. Brown was inside control, now reverse.
But these almost constant submission attempts by Shelby Graham are keeping Brown busy, and he's having to expend all this energy to not get choked out.
How much is that cutting off the airflow, though, with the arm of Brown pinned up against him? You see Graham right there has got the right arm and the neck of Brown pinned right together. They don't anymore as they move into side control.
And that's what I was going to say. I
but
don't
how
know
much does that cut off airflow? Does that make it harder to
It depends
breathe?
on that arm that's up, that's not necessarily free from
close
Brown.
it's pinned.
How close is it to your shoulder and to your head, or not to your shoulder, but to your ear? And how close is your shoulder to your ear? That may be, and how far is your head tucked or not tucked? Those are some things that may play into that. But honestly, the way that Brown was moving in that hold, it looked like he was trying to get sort of a north-south position.
Well, T.J. Brown right now on the back of Graham, and it looks like he's attempting a guillotine choke. He doesn't have it sunk in as much as he would like to. You see Graham able to move there, but he gives up his back. He's trying to twist over.
But he does. He turns into the choke.
Does.
As we've said before, that's one of the best ways
and
to
now
get.
He's got a
Look
guillotine
at that.
attempt.
That's dangerous right there.
He's
He
got a
keeps it locked
guillotine
in.
attempt. He doesn't have it quite sunk in all the way, but he almost does on T.J. Brown with 1 minute 30 seconds left in this second round. Let's see if he can get it locked in. He does not. T.J. Brown is able to get around his backside and pin Graham up against the cage once again.
But how much if you're T.J. Brown are you thinking about, I can't get submitted, he's going to try another guillotine, and not carrying out, not executing your plan?
You have to be very careful at this point. Anytime you're on the mat, as you just mentioned, just because Shelby Shogun Graham has been able to attempt submission holds from several different positions, and they're a nice takedown from Graham.
And that was honestly a harder takedown to score than the previous one you asked me about, because it was harder to tell. Did
Brown drag him down,
exactly,
or did Graham
or did
slam
Graham
him?
drive Brown to the mat? That's going to be a perception thing. But once again, Brown is going for that double leg up against the cage door.
30 seconds left here in round number 2. And right now, Shelby Shogun Graham with his back pinned up against the cage, throwing left and right bows to the midsection of T.J. Brown, but Brown is not relinquishing his position right now.
No, but he's not doing a lot.
He's not staying
maybe
busy.
He was gathering himself to make that attempt at a takedown. He's going to try it again. You got to think he's going to continue that the last 15 seconds of this round and maybe score that takedown and leave a lasting impression in a judge's mind as the round closes.
And Graham with a one-legged takedown attempt, and he gets the slam, and a couple of big right hands to the face of T.J. Brown.
And big right
hands
shots
to the midsection.
Yes.
as we end round number 2. Aaron, I've got to think after 2 rounds that Graham is in control of this fight. The first round was very even between these 2 combatants, but that last round, the round we just saw, you know, Shelby Graham was pinned against the cage for a lot of that round, but I've got to think that he stayed the more active fighter in round number 2.
Well, you know, and once again, how many submission attempts did he try? How many things to continue to gain an advantage, whether he was on top or on the bottom? And at the end, as we talked about, T.J. Brown maybe had the opportunity to get a double leg takedown or a slam and maybe finish that round and say to the judges, look, I finished the round with a takedown. But what happened? Once again, Shelby Graham kind of flipped the script on T.J. Brown and finished the round where he seemed to be dominant. He was throwing those right-handed bombs into that left rib cage of T.J. Brown, and I think the judges would have given that round to him too. If I am T.J. Brown's corner at this point, I'm telling him you've got to finish this fight because you're behind on the scorecard.
Absolutely.
And a backflip
Shelby Graham
in the middle of the cage in
doing
between
a little
rounds.
showboating here at the end of round number 2. We've still got 1 round left to go here, folks. And Shelby
flew out of his mouth while he did that.
Shelby Graham is doing backflips in the middle of the ring.
So, and then he goes over and bows to the corner man and to T.J. Brown. I'm not sure what he said.
You see him doing his handshake there with Enoch Brecker. And is he going to do another backflip? He is. I guess he's not too worried about expending energy.
Has this fight finished?
It must have.
Did they stop the fight? They did. Somewhere in that, the fight was stopped. Or T.J. Brown said, I'm not going to come back out. Well, let's go find out what happened there.
That's an absolutely great idea. We're going to send it down to our man Aaron Hathcock momentarily. First, let's send it down to the ring. We're going to send it down to our MC tonight, Calvin McHenry, for an official decision from referee Rocky Demir. Unsure to this point what happened in our main event of the evening between Shelby Graham and T.J. Brown. Let's send it down to Calvin McHenry and find out momentarily.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, due to a broken hand, your winner of your main event pro fight for tonight will be the military vet, Shelby Shogun Graham.
Shogun, first of all, I want to thank you for your service, brother.
Thank you.
Next, tell us about that fight, man. It seemed like you ended up in a dominant position a lot of that fight. What was going to be your plan for that 3rd round?
My game plan is to win all, like, no matter what. But basically, if I feel I'm getting beat, stood up, I'm gonna take it down to the ground. And it's like almost everything I threw landed, so I was like, he has to take me down to the ground. I'm a black belt in karate, Shorin-ryu. I was a 2-time state champion in St. Louis, but that was back before YouTube. And my jits is getting great. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. You showed a lot of skills in this fight. Man, it was a good fight to watch. I would have liked to have seen the 3rd round just to see what you guys could continue to do in here. So congratulations to you. Shelby Shogun Graham, ladies and gentlemen.
Watch your head.
Watch out, Brandon.
It's fun hunting with your buddies, but it's really fun when you get landed with your buddies.
I've got a special technique where I just wait for the big ones, Bull.
Yeah, baby. Andy Manus back here alongside Aaron Hathcock. We're sitting cage side tonight, just wrapping up Cage Combat Championship 5, brought to you by AA Productions. And big thanks to Global Proving Grounds tonight, mainly for providing our last victor, Shelby Shogun Graham.
Absolutely.
He won due to a technical stoppage after the 2nd round. We had 3 5-minute rounds scheduled for our last fight of the evening, the main event, a professional fight between these 2 guys, and we had a technical stoppage due to a fighter breaking his hand. Is that right? Tell us what you found out when you went down to the ring a minute ago.
After I interviewed Shogun Graham, I had some conversation with referee Rocky Demir, and I said, exactly how did that go down? And he said that between every round, he goes to each corner and asks the fighter, are you okay? When he went to T.J. Brown, what T.J. Brown told him was, I broke my hand. And he said, well, let me look at it, and to make sure that he just wasn't saying that is what he told me. And what happened was he discovered, he probably had a broken hand. And he told T.J. Brown's corner, he said, I'm going to stop this fight. And T.J. Brown's corner said, yeah.
You might as well.
Well,
kinda,
you know,
kind of hard to finish an MMA fight when you've got a broken hand.
That's exactly
That's
right.
one of your main weapons.
If you're a wrestler, especially if it's not your dominant hand, maybe you can continue.
Sure.
And we've seen fighters, you know, not necessarily in this particular case, but we've seen fighters who continue to fight with a broken hand. But I don't know that I would want to do that, to be honest with you.
No, not at all. Not at all. So our winner of our main event this evening, Shelby Shogun Graham, winner by, I guess you'd call it technical stoppage.
Technical
in
stoppage,
the middle
referee
of the
stoppage.
round.
You know, I mean, you can call it a lot of things, but the bottom line is he, you know, he was doing what he was trying to do, and he was going to have to come out, you know, at least on our scorecards over here, he was going to have to come out and he was going to have to finish this fight. Maybe you just cut your losses if you're T.J. Brown and you say, I'm not going to injure myself anymore when I have to finish the fight.
Well, let's
live to
quickly
fight another day.
No doubt about it. Let's quickly recap our fights this evening. Once again, 8 fights on the card tonight. Our first fight of this evening was ended via decision, split decision, excuse me. Wade Dye getting the victory over Austin Arterberry. It was a really good fight to start off this evening. Obviously not our fight of the night. We'll get to that here in a moment. Our second fight of the night, Nathan Gilmore was a winner via TKO in the first round over Randy Gatlin. Our third fight of the night, Ken O.T. was able to win due to another technical stoppage. We saw a lot of those throughout the first round tonight. One with 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the first round.
And a little bit of controversy, especially in the crowd, as we heard, Andy,
absolutely,
about the stoppage in this fight. And some people think that Rocky Demirs, once again, was the referee in this fight. And some people think that maybe he stopped this fight a little bit early. But honestly, I have to say that I agree with the stoppage. If you go back and remember what happened, 15 seconds into the fight, Ken O.T. came through with a great big right-handed bomb, and it knocked David Strange down.
No
and
doubt about it.
he was rattled, and you know, as O.T. said in the interview when I talked to him, he said, I like to finish things on the ground. And exactly what was about to happen is what I think Rocky Demirs was protecting the Reaper from.
So maybe, yeah, saving David the Reaper Strange from a little bit of damage.
I guess that's a case of live to reap another day, right?
Absolutely. Our fourth fight of the evening, Terry Gallimore wins via decision over Breckley Patrick, and that was a great fight for our intermission point in this evening. Our fifth fight of the night, Pete Pirtle wins via Americana submission in the first round over Charles Johnson. That was probably our submission of the night, in my opinion. Our sixth fight of this evening, another submission via Americana. Wes Harmon from Paragould gets the victory over Steve Henderson. And once again, another Americana submission, and that one ended in the second round. But that one a great fight as well. Our co-main event of the evening, without a doubt, Aaron, in my opinion, the fight of the night between Cody Lane and Kyle Jones. No question about it at all. Cody Lane from Paragould, Kyle Jones here from Delaplane, Arkansas, but both fighters going in the octagon toe-to-toe, not backing down an inch. Without a doubt, our fight of the night.
Absolutely, and it was so close. You and I actually saw the fight the other way. We actually, on our scorecards, had Kyle Jones winning that fight by one more round than Cody Lane.
And you got to wonder if the crowd might have had something to do with that here, maybe swaying the judges just a little bit.
Maybe. It was hard to tell because, as we talked about, this crowd was split almost down the middle because Kyle Jones is from Delaplane and Cody Lane is from here in Paragould. And as each fighter was introduced, there was a lot of crowd noise, a lot of cheering for each one of these guys. You know, it was interesting to see how all of that played out and to see how the judges saw it a little bit differently than you and I did. But, you know, some of those middle rounds were close because that was a 5-round fight because it was a title fight. And some of those middle rounds were exceptionally close and could have gone either way.
No doubt about it. Well, Aaron, our final fight of the evening is we just saw Shelby Shogun Graham winning over T.J. Brown because of a broken hand. You can't take anything away from T.J. Brown because he was in that fight.